What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Cris
and Mal.
podcast, episode 127, Big Energy Monday. Hope everybody's having a good Monday afternoon, whether you're at home, you're at work, whatever you're doing. We appreciate you taking your time to watch us today. We got a lot of topics to get into: college football, NFL, so a little bit of basketball. But before we do that, Maul, what is going on, brother?
Not much, man. Had a good Thanksgiving. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed the time off, man. Back to reality now. Get back to work, get back to grinding. You know what I mean? Finish this year off strong, man. Heading into 2025, man. So I'm in good spirits, brother, man. How you doing? How was your Thanksgiving?
It was cool. I mean, I worked, so came home and chilled with the lady. That's about it. You know what I'm saying?
How was
Nothing else.
JOB? JOB smooth,
It
slow.
was boring. That's what it
Yeah,
was. It was boring.
sure it'll be a busy week this week. But we'll see what's up.
We'll see. But yeah, nothing really else going on, man. But of course, always got sports going on. So let's
Oh
get
yeah,
into
yeah, yeah.
into these topics. Let's talk about a little college football. It was championship week, and
hmm
boy, was it! It was rivalry week too. A lot of rivalry teams played each other, and of course, we got to talk about Ohio State, and Michigan.
Yeah.
Um, well, first, yeah, we can talk. Yeah, we talk about Ohio State, Michigan, and Michigan ended up beating them. Where's it at? Find Discord. Where'd it go? Okay, here we go. Michigan ended up beating them 13-10. This game was not a good game as far as the game goes. It was a lot of turnovers and just you know running the football. If you like running, you love running backs. You love this game, but
Oh yeah.
there wasn't a lot of passing in this game, and ultimately Michigan um, end up kicking the game-winning field goal and winning this game. And Ohio State, didn't have enough time on the clock to make anything happen. So, but more so, the talk about this game is more so after the game when Michigan planted their flag on the Ohio State field, and chaos ensued onto the field. Players getting into it, fighting, snatching the flags. Um, Cops had to pepper spray the kids and stuff like that, which I don't know if that was necessary, but whatever. But what were your thoughts on this whole on this game in particular?
Look, we just saw the physicality with Michigan. They proved it again. This is the fourth year in a row that Michigan just dominated the front lines. Um, this should be an embarrassment to Ohio State. There should have been no excuses why this team shouldn't have won this game. You had the better overall roster. Your defense was solid. Your offense has some of the most elite talent. You have uh, uh, a running back core that is just one of the best in the nation. You have Will Howard, who was a transferred from Kansas State. He's a decent quarterback. Obviously, he didn't play up to par that people are expecting. We're expecting him to play, but this says a lot about Ryan Day. I know he consistently can win against other games. He's had problem with big games. You know what I mean? He's had problems with Bama. He's had problems with Georgia. He's had problems. He couldn't go into Oregon and beat them. I get it was only a 1 point game, but that's something that you could have won. And that a lot of that was on mental error. And then the biggest game of Ohio State's schedule against a Michigan team who isn't at the peak of what they were last year. They're having quarterback issues. The offense hasn't been. Obviously, the last couple of games, the offense has looked a little bit more impressive, but overall, the offense isn't anything to be cracked up like it was last year. Um, and you still couldn't win, and you had home field advantage, and you still couldn't win. So, and now they're about to get one of the top quarterbacks prospects to come to Michigan. So it's not going to get easier for Ohio State and Ryan Day. So look, at the end of the day, man, especially with the whole plant flagging thing and all that, look, my whole aspect of it, we saw it all weekend with all the rivalries and stuff like that. I loved it. You know what I mean? We sit here and preach about like we don't see the emotion in a lot of these sporting games, whether it's basketball, football, or anything else, and that we miss that. We miss the old school days of that. So now that the moment that we have something like that where Michigan, this should have been the game where they wanted to plant that flag in the middle of that. Oh, because they came into this game as heavy underdogs, and they literally ruined Ohio State's chances of getting a top seed for this playoffs, which is going to make their
Mhm.
road a little bit harder. I'm not saying they're out of it. I think Ohio State will probably still make it,
Yeah.
but it's just going to make their road a lot harder for them to get to a national championship, and they should celebrate that. Ohio State players talking about like, oh, you want to fight now? I truly understand what homie said, the Michigan player at the post game interview after the fight, where he's like, "Don't we had 60 minutes to fight? Now you want to fight after we plant our flag? Yeah, it's supposed to mean yeah, it's supposed to be disrespectful. You are a rival. I'm not here to to sugarcoat this. This is what a rivalry is supposed to be about. So now we
Right.
starting to see people on TV crying and like, oh, like that's just mean. Like, you got Gus Johnson on there crying about Ohio State being like, bruh, nah. Ohio State disrespected themselves by the way they played on that field and how they acted after losing, acting like they're the big bad dogs when in reality, we ain't nothing but some scared pussycats. That's just the reality of this situation. You guys cannot beat Michigan. You lost again. That has nothing to do with a plant flag. That has everything to do with y'all not being ready for a game that you guys needed to win. You guys took it for granted, and you guys lost. And if this means that you guys don't make the playoff or it makes your situation a lot harder for you to even proceed in the playoffs, hey man, shout out to Michigan, man. Shout out to the head coach, man. That was their Super Bowl and they won it. So they're gonna go celebrate. And honestly, that helps recruiting for him. It's just gonna make it easier for him, and people are just gonna be a more of a believer in that head coach. And he's just gonna get the players in that area, in that Michigan area. He could possibly steal some from Ohio State. Like
Mhm.
they got that momentum. So that was huge. That was huge for Michigan, and it was a big blow for Ohio State.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's crazy that, what I'm saying, and I get it. It sucks. You don't want your rivalry planting their flag on your stadium. I get it. But at the end of the day, man, you can't be a sore loser. You know what I'm saying? And y'all lost. It is what it is. Y'all should have been mad during the game, like Maul just said. But you wait till after the game to get all crazy, and now you want to, beat up on the other team and fight them because they planted their flag or whatever. It is what it is, man. You should be mad at yourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you let a quarterback who only passed for 62 yards and threw two picks beat y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really? You let that quarterback beat you with the talent that you got. Y'all got first round talent on your team. Not to
Everywhere.
say that, not to say that Michigan don't, but they only got probably like maybe two.
Now, a lot of that was on their O line and their defense, but you got talent on the running backs, the
Yeah,
receivers, the O line, D line, linebackers, corners. Like, come on, man. Like, do
like
you think Ryan Day's job should be he should be on the hot seat? You think he should be fired?
if he's a first round exit,
Oh, in the playoff?
yeah. If he gets ran off the field on the first round, he definitely should be looking at him and
Mm,
wondering, can he take this team over the hump? Urban Meyer left this team in his hands. He was the OC, and he was
mm,
deemed the next man up.
mm. Yeah.
And all they've done is underachieve since he's been the head coach.
No, hey, if you're an Ohio State coach, the number one thing you have to do is beat Michigan. If
This was the
anything
year
else,
to
you
do
got
it.
to beat Michigan. Yeah.
This was the year to do it. We get last year. Michigan was the best team in the nation last year.
Yeah.
They won the national championship last year. So,
Mhm.
okay, I get it. Even though y'all were a powerhouse last year too, because you had Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. So,
Oh yeah. Hmm.
but this year was the year to get them because they're down. They don't have a quarterback. Their best players is their running back. Yeah, they got a good solid defense, but their defense is useless because they getting teams are getting up on them on the scoreboard before the half, so they got to pass the football, and they can't do that right now.
Yeah.
And so now next year, like you said, they got the number one college quarterback coming in next year,
Hmm.
and he definitely could throw the football.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Homie's nice. Like I think this game definitely also shows that It's gonna be hard. Like, look, this week has shown me a lot as far as like who I'm a true believer in going into these college football playoffs. And Ohio State clearly is not one of them. It's just hard for me to like. They do have the talent to beat anybody, but I don't know, man. If you can't beat Michigan on your home field, how am I going to expect you to beat an Oregon, like in a rematch against Oregon, or even a Penn State again, or even a Georgia, or even Texas, or hell, even a Boise State, or anybody like that who's actually been playing pretty well. And I get it, people are going to throw like, oh, strength of schedule and all that, but like let's be honest, like Ohio State, the only big game that they won was Penn State, and they barely won that. They barely won that. They lost to Oregon in Oregon, and then now you lost to Michigan. Like, okay, you're gonna give me the Indiana one? Okay, I guess I'll give you Indiana, but who has Indiana beat? They haven't beaten anybody. Their strength of schedule is pretty weak compared to a lot of this. I would honestly take Colorado's strength of schedule more. I get it. Colorado has more losses, but I'll take that Colorado has played a tougher schedule than Indiana. I would definitely say that. I think Arizona State has had a tougher schedule than Indiana. So, like, what are we really doing? So, I don't know, man. It's just it's going to be hard for me to be a big believer. Obviously, it all depends on who they're matched up in that first round. But it's going to be interesting. That means they're on the road. Ohio State's on the road for that first round. So, we're gonna. I'm really excited for this college football playoff. I'm really excited to see the atmosphere of where Ohio State goes. Like, imagine if Ohio State went to, uh, I don't know, like who would be the first? Like, but Boise State. They'll probably play Boise State. Could be Ohio State, UNLV, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. You know what I mean? You see Chris with the hat on.
Yeah. Let's talk about Colorado real quick. I know they're not going to make the playoffs, but
Yeah.
they did have a huge bounce back win after the disappointing loss to Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
They beat Oklahoma State 52-0. Shador Sanders was nothing but excellent. He was 34-41, uh, 438, 5 touchdowns, and just one pick. Travis Hunter, he had 10 catches, 116 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and he had a pick. LaJohntay Weister had 11 catches, 175 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This was a great way to end off, Travis Hunter and Shador Sanders' college career. I mean, I know they're playing in the bowl game for sure because Dion already said that they're not opting out. They're playing in the game, so that you'll get another opportunity to see them play whoever they play this year in the bowl game. But this was a good way to end it off on their field in front of their fans. Um, and it just boosted up Travis Hunter. Is the Heisman just going to give it to him? You know what I'm saying? The kid he was excellent in this game. You know what I'm saying? And Shador was excellent too. And like I said, man, it was just a good way to end it off. After a disappointing loss against Kansas, to come out on this field and show a little more fire and you know answer the call that Dion had posed to them in the post game after the Kansas loss. They showed up and showed out. So
Honestly, man, this just made me even more sad that this Colorado team didn't make it to the college football playoff. This team should be in the college football playoff. Like Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter deserve to be in this 12-team playoff because I think they would have a chance against anybody. It's a damn shame that this team started off so slow, especially this
mhm,
defensive side, to the point where it cost them already two games that I
mhm,
think they could have easily won if they were playing the defense that they were. And then on top of that, you go into Kansas and just the effort on the defensive side was so pathetic, especially on that defensive line. The tackling was just atrocious. Like there's no reason why Colorado should not have made this 12-team playoff. I really believe that when they're playing at their best, they're one of the 12 best teams in the nation. I really truly believe that. I think with Shador and Travis, you have any chance to beat anybody in the top 12. I think
mhm,
if Shador and Travis are hitting and that defense is playing the heights that we did see it play at, I think they could. I could think
mhm,
that could beat Oregon. I think they could beat Ohio State. Like they would literally be the two best players on that field, no matter who's what position. I'm sorry, they are. Um, it's just a damn shame, man. It really is. Especially after seeing Kansas and that showing they did against Baylor. I'm like, bro, like y'all lost to them. I'm like, that just made you even more mad. Like, bro, what Colorado fumbled the bag, man. But I said it. At least we'll get to see him play one more game together. Shador and Travis. I think they're gonna go out with a bang. I don't
Hmm.
know if there's any chance where maybe they might slide in Colorado. I think it's a long, long shot. I think they're eliminated, but
I
money wise,
think I
money
think B
wise, like
I
I think
think
it makes sense.
yeah, BYU eliminated them when they won.
I know they did. I know it did. I'm just thinking more of a financial aspect. I think it would be
Hmm.
more of a financial lucrative for the NCAA and this college football to have Dion and Travis and Shador. It would just make it more exciting. But I know it's a very slim chance, less than 1% chance that they make it. But it sucks though. But it was definitely a great showing. I agree with you. Give Travis Hunter the Heisman. Don't play with his food. Just give it to him. You already like kind of disrespected him on one award.
Hmm.
Go ahead and give it to him. But I said I still would like to see Ashton Genty up there. I would love to see Shador Sanders up there and
Yeah,
Cam Ward to get the opportunity just to celebrate what they did this year. I think all four of those gentlemen should definitely be celebrated for
yeah, I
the
agree.
accomplishments that they did this year. It was an amazing season for all four of them. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Texas beat Texas A&M 17-7. Quinn
mhm,
Edwards was 17 to 28, 218 yards, one touchdown, one INT. It was all about Quintravion Winsner,
mhm.
33 carries, 186 yards. And Arch Manning, he ran a touchdown in too. But this is more so about Texas defense. The Texas A&M just couldn't move the ball on them. Too many turnovers. They had a pick six, fumbles. Just it was bad for Texas A&M. They just couldn't get nothing going on offensively because it wasn't like Texas scored a lot of points. They only scored 17. So um, and shout out to Texas A&M. I know y'all lost, but y'all was rocking that night, man. Y'all crowd, man. That scene, man. It would. I would have loved to be in that stadium that night because it just looked like it was crazy out there. Um, but Texas ended up winning, and they looking pretty into this going into the playoffs, man. As far as seeding goes, it looks like they'll probably get a bye week. Because they. I mean, I know they got the SEC championship. Who are they facing?
They're facing Georgia.
Georgia. So yeah, they get a rematch against Georgia. So if they look better than what they did, the first time they faced Georgia, then you have to like Texas chances in the playoffs. But if they look like how they looked the last time they faced Georgia, and look Georgia, and we'll get into Georgia in a minute. Georgia ain't this powerhouse that they usually are. Like Texas, I mean Georgia can be had. I assume that Starks is gonna play the tape when they played them last time and be like, look, this is what we can't do. You know what I'm saying? We gotta come out here with intensity and fire because they gonna come out with their head on fire. So
Mhm.
um, Texas definitely is gonna have to show up next week or this week when they play against Georgia in the SEC championship game. Because if they don't, I don't like their chances in the playoffs at all.
I'm not worried about Texas. I think Texas will be just fine. I think they're definitely going to be motivated going into the SEC championship game. I'm not going to give my prediction. I'll wait till Wednesday to do all that. But
Right.
um, I think overall, with I wasn't Texas A&M. Weren't they playing a true freshman anyway? Right?
They're playing. What's his name? Marcel Reed.
And
I
he a
think
true
he's.
freshman.
Yeah, he's a freshman. He started at
Yeah,
the beginning of the season, and then their starting quarterback had came back, but I think he
yeah.
got hurt, or
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So,
yeah,
like, it was a tough position for him anyway. Like, yeah,
yeah.
he did have the home field advantage, but going up against Texas in that rivalry, and they haven't played a game in over what 10 years.
Hmm.
We all know how one of the more prominent rivalries in college football was these two college tuitions
Hmm.
institutions, excuse me. That look, man, it was going to be a huge game. We both saw the atmosphere. That atmosphere was crazy. I think Texas A&M has at least the top three atmosphere in all of sports in the United
Yeah,
States of America. Like I
I
don't care
agree.
what sport it is. I think that'll be a good. I think that should be a good topic one day. Maybe we'll do like maybe our top 10 um, best sporting environments. You know what I mean? I think we
Hmm.
should get into that maybe in the next couple weeks. But man, and shout out to Texas A&M and all those fans out there, man. Y'all had a rocking. But Texas, it was really impressive going in there, and you had a banged up Quinn Ewers. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
like he that ankle was bandaged up kind of crazy. I was low key kind of surprised he played, especially with
Yeah,
having Manning, Arch Manning. I mean, I think he's more than ready to take over this team. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, man.
you just see how he's definitely the most athletic Manning I've seen out of all the Mannings.
He's the
Like
one. He's the most swaggiest
he's the most
man.
swaggiest one for sure. So you know what I mean. So like, I wouldn't be like, look, I wouldn't be surprised if he dated a sister, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie to you. But like Arch Manning, man,
No.
he's gonna be the truth. He's gonna be the truth, especially when they take over. So you already know how more impressive that they're going to be next year. So,
Hmm.
um, so like I'm not worried about Texas. I think Texas will be fine. I know they dealt with a lot of injuries earlier in this year. It seems like they're getting a little bit healthier as the year goes on. So it's especially on that defensive side. That defense is truly amazing. So I'm very curious to see how they perform against Georgia. I know they're going to be highly motivated, especially how embarrassed they got in their home field. So I wouldn't be surprised if Texas wanted to repay them back on their turf. I know it's a neutral site supposedly, but we all know it's in Atlanta, it's in Georgia, and that's pretty much another home field advantage for Georgia. So, but I won't be. That's going to be a 50-50 crowd. Texas fans are going to show up for that game, and I'm hyped to watch it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hyped up too. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely going to be a crazy atmosphere, to say the least.
Yes, yeah, for sure. It's going to say a lot about Carson Beck and his future in the NFL too.
Yeah, you know how I feel about him. Let's talk about them though. Georgia ended up beating Georgia Tech in overtime, 8 overtimes.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
44-42. Georgia was down for majority of
The
this
whole game,
game,
the whole game,
and
pretty much.
yeah, they were down majority of this game, but they ended up coming back. Um, Haynes King, he was 26 of 303 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had 110 yards on the ground with three more touchdowns on the ground.
Hmm.
Um, and Carson Beck, he was 297 yards, 5 touchdowns. Um, and yeah, man, it was a crazy game. Came down to the overtimes. I just think in that eighth one, Georgia Tech just finally was just tired. And finally, you know what I'm saying? One just got in, you know what I'm saying? And on the eighth try, finally Georgia got in and won the game on the slant route to the receiver, and they won the game. They survived, but they was looking a little vulnerable over there. Georgia's looked vulnerable all season, and I know they was talking about it on the herd today on how with these NILs, man, these SEC teams, it's not so much that they don't have talent. They don't have the depth like they used to have. They're not as deep as they used to have because all the top 5-star and 4-star kids is going there. So you can rotate defensive linemen and they stay, relatively fresh. You can rotate DBs and they stay fresh and it's not a drop off either. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like we used to say this with the Alabamas and the Georgias, like, hey, the defensive lineman they got this year is dope, but the dude behind them is even better. Like that's what you would say. Can't say that no more because why would I go to Georgia and sit when I can go play for Georgia Tech?
And you can still get
All
paid.
and still get paid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I can go to, Tulane and
Hmm.
start. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And ball out and still go first round overall if I'm
Yeah, you
really
don't
that
need.
good.
Yeah, you don't need specifically to go to to Georgia or anything like that.
Yeah. So I just think that it's showing, and I think it's just period in the SEC is showing that they don't have the depth that they usually have on these SEC teams, and it's an even playing field. And I know this is a rivalry game, but usually Georgia versus Georgia Tech, this would have been a blowout 2 years ago.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
Georgia would have smoked them.
Hmm.
It wouldn't have been close. So um, Carson Beck, we'll see. We'll see how he looks this week. If he could put up a decent performance, because let's be real, in that first game against Texas, he wasn't that good. It was their defense that gave Texas problems.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't so much Carson Beck was just doing all kind of he was through a couple picks, I think, in that game. So we'll see with Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I know you have your problems with them as far as their ranking. We'll get in that in a minute. But hey man, they survived and they're on to the championship game, SEC championship game.
like like this Georgia team, it just leaves a lot to be desired for this team, bro. Like I don't see the infatuation of this team being propped up like there's some juggernaut um team. Like they're not. This is not the team of 2 years ago. Like this is nothing close to that. Like this team is very vulnerable. Um, like Carson Beck, like see, this is one of the reasons why I said that a lot of NFL teams are going to try to convince themselves that Carson Beck could potentially be great. Like a lot of his games, he starts out poorly. And you can even see it in this Georgia Tech game. Like he looked awful. He looked god awful. But in that fourth quarter, you see a couple throws where it's like, okay, like I think it was a touchdown to the tight end where it was like he just threw it right over one of the linebackers or cornerbacks, and it just went right over him, and it was just a beautiful ball. And
Mm-hmm.
you see certain aspects of him with Carson Beck. So I could see somebody trying to convince themselves like, oh, we can develop this kid and turn him into a great quarterback, and you know what I mean, and he'll do wonders. But I just think he's gonna be a turnover machine. He gives me like Jay Cutler kind of vibes, where it's just like he has the arm strength to do it, but he's just gonna do a lot of stupid turnovers that just doesn't make sense, and it's gonna be to the point where he's gonna get a lot of coaches fired. That's just me personally. Georgia Tech should have won this game.
Yeah.
I think they could have easily called a helmet to helmet hit on the quarterback who fumbled that ball. Like it was literally a crown of the Georgia player's helmet hitting him that
Mm-hmm.
kind of caused him to fumble that ball. So they could have easily called that, but they didn't. If it wasn't for that fumble, I think Georgia Tech wins that game. They were able to move down up and down against Georgia so easily that I said it just makes it
What's going
even
on,
more.
James?
What's up, brother? It just makes it even more of a question mark for Georgia and how they're going to perform against better competition. Like, how are you going to perform against? We're going to obviously find out with Texas, but we're going
Mm-hmm.
to see you against that Texas offense, even though it's going to be a banged up Quinn Ewers. What would you do up against Oregon and that offensive juggernaut? What would you do up against, some of these other teams? Like, I'm curious to see how Genty would do against this Georgia team. We saw Georgia Tech run up down Georgia. Georgia Tech just ran through them like it was nothing. What do you think Genty gonna do? What do you think Ashton Genty gonna do against this Georgia defense? Let's say if they hypothetically play. Like, come on,
Mm-hmm.
man. I said like I all this. And look, my one of my and my I'm a Florida Gator fan, so I understand the SEC. I'm SEC, but I'm a realist when it comes to this situation. The SEC has been terrible this year. They haven't lived up to the standards that we are all accustomed to seeing with the SEC. Like it is literally SEC is literally comparable to the Big Ten and to the Big 12. Like like I don't see a varying difference. Like yeah, you may have one or two teams that just stand out more than most, but for the most part, I think it's an even playing field with a lot of these teams. Even the ACC, I think it's an even playing field with a lot of these teams with the SEC and all these other conferences. Man, I don't see it being a big leap from the Big 12 to like the SEC. I don't see it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that one. Notre Dame beat USC 49-35. This score is not indicative on how close this game was. Um, I actually watched a little bit of this game. Um, the USC quarterback, Jaden Mavia, who formerly of UNLV, he didn't
Mm-hmm.
have a bad game. He just made some bad picks at unopportune times when they had opportunities to come back in this game. He threw a pick um, down the sideline, going towards the end zone. He kind of underthrew it, and the cornerback for Notre Dame intercepted it, and I think he took it all the way back. Um, and he threw another pick. Um, all in all, like we've been saying, Marcus Freeman got this team rolling. This defense has been flying around. That running back uh, for uh, for Notre Dame has been playing really good. Love and Price, Riley Leonard. He's doing just enough to win the games. You know what I'm saying? They don't ask him to do too much. He's got a little bit of an arm, but he's known for his running ability. And yeah, man, Notre Dame end up winning the game, and they're they're going into the playoffs, man. They heading into the playoffs. I don't think they do championship. They ain't in no conference, so they don't do no championship game.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, they're priming up for the playoffs, and they actually get a little bye week too to rest up.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you. Like, I think Notre Dame has played. They've been one of the more impressive teams, I would say, as far as like how they've been playing. I get it, like they're not playing like the highest end of competition, but for the most part, they are dominating teams that they need to dominate. And I get it, it was a close game against USC for the most part, but they were able to you know, have a couple pick sixes. Like I think both of them were almost like 100 yards. I think
Hmm.
that defense is really good, man. Marcus Freeman, man, he definitely needs to be considered for coach of the year
For
this year. I know
sure.
they had that one bad loss earlier in the year at home, but I mean, they've been able to bounce back and answer a lot of questions. Obviously, we still need to see them play against high end talent, as far as like high end clubs. Like I would love to see how they would go up against like a Oregon or a Texas and stuff, something like that. And hopefully we'll get that answer here in the next couple weeks. But you got to be nothing but more impressed with this Notre Dame team, and how they've been able to handle adversity off that loss and going into the college football playoff. I'm kind of curious to see where they're ranked. Obviously, they don't have a conference championship game that they have to play, so I'm kind of curious to see where they'd be placed in. If they get, obviously, I would assume they would get a home game, but and who they'll have to face. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. um, Miami ended up losing 38-42 to to Syracuse. Um, Miami had got out to a 14 or 21-0 lead, and then Syracuse ended up coming back and winning the game. Towards the end, they were up 42-35. Miami had the ball. They had to settle for a field goal to make it 38-42, and then Syracuse ended up running out the clock, which ultimately they won the game. Um, this Miami team, man, they got first round exit written all over them, and it has nothing to do with Cam Ward. We know how great Cam Ward is. It has nothing to do with him. It's
Hmm.
just this defense. They're just not that good to me.
Yeah.
They've let teams, you know, whether they're behind and he's got to pull a rabbit out his ass and bring them back, or they get down or they get up and they give up leads and they end up losing. This has
Hmm.
been the culmination of their season all year
Yeah.
of what their games look like. So
Hmm.
they can't put teams away when they get big leads, and then when they get down, they gotta ask Cam to perform a magic trick. And sometimes, more times than not, he's done it. But there's times when he can't do it, and this is the game that he couldn't do it. He couldn't put him back in the game. And like I said, that last drive, they had to settle for a field goal, and Syracuse ran the clock out and won the game. So I'm sure they'll still make it to the playoffs. I don't, but we'll see.
Um, I agree with everything you kind of stated. Like, um, this defense just it's just not up to par to
Mm,
be competing for a national championship. Like,
mm,
obviously, if you got Cam Ward, like you offensively, you'll always have a chance, but um, just I'm I, at the it's just not going to happen with this defense. And I'm not surprised that they lost against Syracuse. I kind of called it going into Syracuse. Syracuse is a tough team. And then for some reason, I feel like Syracuse always kind of has Miami's number a little bit here and there. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I'm not surprised about that. As far as them Miami having a chance to make the playoffs, I think it's going to be tough, bro. I don't think they make it. I don't think they
yeah.
make it. I think the ACC is only going to get one, only one at this point, because you still have the likes of Iowa State, you still got BYU. I would put them ahead of them. The winner of Boise State UNLV is definitely going to get a spot in the college football playoff. Um, Oregon's not going anywhere. Texas is not going anywhere. Notre Dame's not going anywhere. Penn State's not going anywhere. Um, I think if SMU loses, depending on how they lose, I don't. I think they still might have a chance to make it because, what I mean. I know it's been kind of this whole thing on the national media where people are trying to, proclaim that if you make a conference championship that you shouldn't be penalized to the degree if you were to lose a regular season game. So let's say SMU loses by like 3 to 7 points. I don't think they're going to get punished like that. I know people will probably say like SMU hasn't really played anybody, but they do have top 25 wins on their resume. I think they will be fine. I just think it'll be pretty impossible for Miami to make it. The only good thing about their schedule is that Florida has been looking amazing these last couple weeks, and that has boosted up their win against Florida in the beginning of the season. Now, obviously, DJ Lagway was not playing in that game. I would love to see DJ Lagway going up against this Miami defense, and this might have been a totally different story if DJ Lagway was starting at the beginning of the year. So. That's the only good thing that is relevant as far as like Miami and them potentially still having a shot to make the playoffs. But I think it's going to be pretty hard for them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. Let's talk about South Carolina, number 15, South Carolina. They beat Clemson. Clemson blew it.
Yeah.
But South Carolina's been playing just like your Florida Gators. South Carolina has been playing really good ball these past like 3 to 4 weeks. They've
Yeah, it's
been,
bad. Yeah.
they've been ascending up. They've had some good wins. And this was another one. They can make a case to possibly backdoor into the college playoff. They might be a little bit too late because they had a couple of losses, but they did take Alabama to the wire. They probably should have won that game. But like I said, they've been playing better. The quarterback, he didn't have a great game. He had a good game on the ground though. 16 carries for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns. But I don't, Clemson, they had their opportunity and they blew it. And hey, man, shout out to South Carolina, man.
Yeah, nah, man. South Carolina has been really impressive these last couple weeks. I think they have a chance to make the playoffs to some capacity. So, yeah, honestly, Dabo was giving up an alley oop. Like the homie, the Syracuse head coach even said, like, "Congratulations, Dabo, I got you in." Just for Dabo, just to fuck it all up. You know what I mean? Like, oh boy, try to give you an alley oop, bro. You totally missed the dunk, man. So, it just puts another stain on Dabo to me as far as like these last couple years haven't been really impressive. I get it, Dabo's not going anywhere from Clemson, but
No.
for some reason, ever since once we got past Trevor Lawrence, it hasn't really been the same. I don't know where that person is who recruited those two quarterbacks and Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence. I don't know where homie went, but they need to find somebody that can recruit a quarterback. They need a dynamic quarterback. That's the one thing that they've been missing. Like they have so much talent on Clemson on that defensive side. We've seen it on the offensive side. They've been able to get receivers, running backs, defensive linemen, like linebackers, cornerbacks. Like they had it all. You know what I mean? And they have it all this year. Just the quarterback situation has just been a big bust. So, yeah, if they can figure that out, I think Clemson will be fine. But I think
Dabo, get your ass in the transfer portal, man. Stop being an asshole.
Y'all got the money for it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you just want all that money in your pockets. It's time to start spreading the wealth, my brother. Like if you want your college football program to stay relevant in this society, in this realm of what college football is, you better change your ways because if not, you're gonna be left in the dust, my guy, and your program is not gonna be amount to nothing. So he needs to figure that out. So
yeah, man. The one team that did benefit probably from Clemson losing is Alabama because they beat Auburn in the Iron Bowl 28-14.
Get Bama out of here, bro. I don't want Bama's not making it, bro. I'm sorry, Bama's not making it. Bro.
I'm just saying, man, they are number 13.
That's another problem on that fucking ranking list. We'll get to it, but AP is tripping. But
I'm just telling you, they probably benefited the most from that Clemson loss and South Carolina beating them, and they beat South Carolina this year. So that boosters up there stuff. So I'm just telling you, Mom. You know what I'm saying? They probably benefited the most. Jalen Monroe, 18-24, 256 yards. He had a pick, but he also had 17 carries, 104 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Look, man, like I said, Alabama's probably gonna get it. And I know you don't want to hear that, man, but it's gonna happen. They're not gonna leave Alabama out of these playoffs.
They have to. There is no logical reason why Bama should get in. Are you telling me Bama should get in over the winner of Boise State UNLV?
No.
Should Alabama be over Tennessee?
Mm-mm.
Should they be over Ohio State?
Mm-mm.
If Arizona State wins the championship, the Big 12 Big 12 championship, would you have Arizona State Alabama over Arizona State?
Mm-mm.
You wouldn't.
No, no.
Not if they're a Big 12 championship. You're not. You're not putting them over Indiana. Are you putting them over Indiana?
I might. I might. Because they got blown. They got blown.
I don't know, man. Are you putting them over BYU?
BYU hasn't looked good these past few weeks, man.
Neither has Bama. Who is like you telling me Bama?
Bama look better
beat
than BYU.
Auburn. Bama beat Auburn. This is what y'all telling me. Bama beat Auburn. So now all of a sudden they're gonna jump 3, 4, 5 teams to make it to the playoffs because they beat fucking Auburn. All right, you gotta be kidding me, bro.
It has nothing to do with them beating Auburn. It has nothing. Trust me, it has nothing to do with them beating Auburn.
But they lost. They lost. Didn't they just lose? And everybody had them out. All of a sudden they beat Auburn. Then all of a sudden they look great again. Come on, man.
I'm saying is that okay? Yeah, it helped that they won, but it also helped that Clemson lost. That's what I'm saying.
Let's look at this schedule. Hold on. This is making me mad, bro. Oh my god.
I'm not advocating that they should make it. I'm just telling you how these fools think, man, in the committee.
So their big wins. So they lost to Tennessee. Mm-hmm. They lost to Vanderbilt. Their big win is against Georgia. I'll give you that. Missouri is like whatever. LSU has looked terrible.
It's still a ranked team.
you went to Oklahoma and got fucking dominated, and then you won by 14 against Auburn. Like what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like what are we talking about? Like this is insane. Like
look, they're gonna look at them beating South Carolina, which is they're gonna be a top 13, 12 team. I don't know. They're gonna look at them beating Georgia. And then Clemson losing. That's what I'm saying. If Clemson would have won yesterday or Saturday, Bama's out.
So now, so doesn't the Indiana win over Michigan look even better? Indiana beat Michigan 20-15. Yeah. Doesn't that make them like don't give me the don't give me the
I didn't say I'm just saying
you can't sit here and give one kind of idea for Bama saying like now the fact that this team won that it makes Bama look good. Like it's the same thing for Indiana. Then Michigan went into Ohio State. What do you think was more impressive? Michigan going to Ohio State and beating Ohio State, or the one you consider for Bama? What was more impressive? South Carolina beating Clemson was not more impressive than Michigan beating Ohio State. I will take that win over the South Carolina win. So that way, that to me, that trumps Indiana getting over Bama. To me, if you're going to go by those statistics and that kind of like accolade as far as like stigmas on who's going to get in and who's not, come on, man. Come on.
I think that the Michigan win is more so like.
No.
That's now, like a rivalry. Now you're going
to deep dive into the Michigan win? Now you're going to deep dive into. We can do that with South Carolina. We can do that too. We can do that too.
Win, dog. Like,
it don't matter. So what was the South Carolina win? Was that not a rivalry win? That's a rivalry win.
No, not really.
It is.
South Carolina and Alabama don't really end the world.
You an excuse maker for Bama. That's insane. You're
no better
than these SEC guys. Come on, man.
I'm not. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you.
Bro. And I'm calling
Bama has more impressive wins on their schedule than Indiana. They do.
Dog. Come on, and they had the worst losses. They've had some of the more. Indiana has lost 1 game. Alabama has lost 3. I don't give a fuck. The math ain't mathing, my guy. I don't care. You play who is in your schedule. They beat Michigan. Michigan beat Ohio State, the number 2 team in the nation. The number 2 team in the nation.
And I get
South
all that.
Carolina beats a Clemson team that's been struggling all year, who's barely in the top 15. Barely in the top 15. And you're trying to tell me that win was more impressive to get Alabama over Indiana, even though Alabama has 3 losses, 3 bad losses on top of that. You lost to Vanderbilt, terrible. You lost to Oklahoma, who's having one of their worst years in the
Those
history
two
of
losses are
Oklahoma.
bad. Now the
The
Tennessee
only
loss
good
ain't too bad.
you got a Georgia win, which was impressive, but Georgia don't look as good as what everybody said they
No,
did.
they
You're just going
don't.
based off of ranking. This is why the college football is fucking terrible. It needs to get out of conferences. It needs to get out of all that shit. Just get out of conferences, make it one big league. I kind of said it. I think college football should go into like a soccer style league. You have one big conference who's like the grade A, the La Liga of college football. You have these 35, 40 teams, whatever the number is. They compete for the national championship. You have a second tier league with all the other teams that are trying to move up into that league. So whoever's the top 4 or the bottom 4 in that league should get relegated to that second tier and try to work their way back up. This is the only way this system's going to work, because if not, the way you're speaking and a lot of people on this national TV realm is speaking, we're going to end up with just Big Ten versus SEC championship games and playoff games for the rest of eternity. And people who keep making excuses for Bama off of some weird ways and then don't apply it to other teams because they don't want to is insane to me. It's insane. Come on, man. It's insane.
All I'm saying is that Indiana, when they lost bad to Ohio State.
Okay, and what
Bama
did Alabama do?
and
What did
Bama has
Alabama do? Oh, no. What did
they
Alabama do?
had some bad
What did
losses.
Alabama
They
do
do.
against? Hold on. What did Alabama do against Vanderbilt?
They did. They lost bad. They did.
Bad. Hold on. What did they do against Oklahoma?
They lost bad.
Oh, okay. Oh, what about Tennessee?
They lost.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
But Tennessee is a top tier team, so we know
They barely won against South Carolina, 27-25. That was they barely won that. LSU is not as good. Missouri, we see how trash that team has been all fucking year. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Man. You right. You got it, man. All right, man. Let's talk about UNLV, dog. UNLV beats UNR 38-14. Haj Malik, he he was 14-21, 168 yards and 2 touchdowns in the air. And he also had 104 yards and a touchdown on the ground. But the story is Jaden Thomas, 15 carries, 135 yards on the touchdown. He was balling. He balled out, man. He had one run where he stiffed armed 2 guys from not even looking at him, just stiffed arming and damn near ran the touchdown in. Ricky White, he had a touchdown, and Jacob DeJesus, he had a pretty good game too. This defense was all over UNR. They couldn't do nothing really. It wasn't really until the end of the game really when they got something going offensively. But shout out to UNLV, man. They end up getting the Fremont Cannon. They win. They keep it in you keep it here in Vegas. And they're on their way to a rematch with Boise State on Friday against Boise for the Mountain West Championship title and a chance to get into the college football playoffs. I'm proud of this team, man. This team has, went through a lot of adversity, especially, we all know in the beginning of the season, they had Sluka as the starting quarterback. After the third game, he decided, he didn't feel like he was getting what he was promised in his NIL deal. So he ended up leaving the team. And here entering Haj Malik Williams, and it's just like they didn't skip a beat. And honestly, I felt like the offense got better. No slight to Sluka, but Haj Malik is a better passer. He's more poised in the pocket than Sluka. And the offense just took off, man. And we had some, losses. Syracuse, had an opportunity to win that game. We could talk about some of the questionable flags in that game, but they did have opportunities to win that game. The same thing with the Boise State. I went to that game, and they held Genty probably to his worst yards per carry. He only had like 3.9 yards per carry. Yeah, he had 128 yards, but he wasn't like running all over them like he's done. Like you just saw this past weekend, he had like over 200 some yards.
Hmm.
So they're opening up as a -4 underdog to Boise State, just like how they did in the first meeting, and I like their chances, man. I think that they'll learn from the first matchup, and will hopefully what I'm saying, they can overcome some of the deficiencies on defense when they face them, and get into the playoffs, man. But like I said, regardless, I'm proud of this team, man. They showed out and they showed out. And Haj Malik Williams is a true class. He does a lot of work in the community. That I know they show his moms and stuff, and she seems like she's a real sweetheart. And like I said, I'm just proud of this team, man. Oh yeah,
Uh,
Ricky White. Remember him on draft day.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Look, man. I hope this team is mentally taking it day by day.
Mhm.
Um, that they don't put. I know it's a lot of pressure on this game, but don't put too much pressure on yourself throughout the week.
Right.
Enjoy this week. Enjoy the moments leading up to the big game, because we all know it. This is the biggest game in UNLV football history. This is.
Mhm.
Um, the impact that this team has made on this football culture for UNLV has only boosted up UNLV's chances of getting prominent talent, being looked up as a respectable college um, institution
Mhm.
that we I'm so proud of this team. I can't underestimate how proud I am of this team and how well they have represented um, this city that I
Mhm.
grew up in so many years, man. I would never thought that we would ever see the day that we would have a legit college football team actually competing
Yeah.
to make a college football playoff to potentially win a national championship amongst some of the great programs that is out there. Um, Obviously, this is the biggest game for me this week, probably this year.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, I've been so invested into this UNLV team. I've watched a lot of games, damn near all of them, honestly.
Mhm.
Um, no matter what happens, the result of it, I said, me and Chris will always be proud. Hopefully, anybody who's on that team or on that staff hears this. We are very, very proud of what you guys have accomplished, no matter what the result is. I don't give a fuck if y'all lose 100-0. Not saying that will happen, but even if y'all lose 100-0, would it be disappointing? It would, but
Of course.
I would still be 100% proud of this team and everything that
Mhm.
you guys accomplished. You guys are taking UNLV athletics into a better space.
Yeah.
Saying all that, UNLV wants that fucking smoke, dog. We want Genty. This defense has been playing amazing.
Yeah,
We,
they have.
we got fucking dogs on this team. I'm going to McAfee way. We got dogs on this motherfucking team. Ricky White. I'm very curious to see how the weather is going to be, though. I think that could play a very important factor. Hopefully, it's no raining, no snowing or nothing. We know Boise can happen up there. But if we
Mhm.
got clear skies, Ricky White gonna have a day. Ricky White
Mhm.
gonna show you why this man could potentially be a one of the top receivers in the first round. I think he has all the capabilities in the world to be one of the best receivers
Mhm.
coming out of this draft. He may not get picked that way, but he I think he can show it on that Sunday field. He will be on the team on Sunday for sure. Ricky White
Mhm.
deserves
Oh
that,
yeah.
to say the least.
Most
There's a couple
definitely.
cats on this team that will be playing on Sundays for sure.
Mhm.
Like a couple of our linebackers, a couple of our DNs.
Jackson
I would
Woolard, most
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, for sure. Those guys are going to be playing Sunday. So, look, man, it's a big game, man. This is the ticket to get into the first ever 12-team college football playoff. You do not know how excited I am for this game. Hopefully, Las Vegas is excited for this game, and if they win this, we potentially have a strong chance to have a home playoff game for the first round of the playoff. So we
Mhm.
potentially could see UNLV play Ohio State and Ohio State come out here. we could potentially see some shit like that, which would be insanity. So, and if that happens, I don't care who UNLV plays, but if they do get a home game out here, I will be there. I know Vegas will definitely show out. I'm proud of Vegas showing out last week. Great numbers, man. Um, Great numbers, man. So I don't want to do say too much longer, but man, proud of you guys, man. Good luck on Friday, man, for real.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll do a bigger deep dive on Wednesday on that game, the championship games for that week. But
Come
let's
on,
talk
man.
about
We already know who we're picking, so it doesn't matter. So.
yeah, we know. But I'm just saying, we'll do a more deeper dive on
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt.
what I feel the keys to the game and all that stuff. Yeah.
Not for sure.
All right, man. Let's talk about this AP top 25 that's come out. The top 12 is Oregon, Texas, Penn State, Notre Dame, Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio State, SMU, Indiana, Boise, Alabama, and Arizona State. We got 13 South Carolina, 14 Miami, 15 Ole Miss. Iowa State is 16, BYU 17, Clemson is 18, UNLV is at 19, Colorado's 20, Illinois is 21, Missouri 22, Syracuse 23, Army 24, and Memphis 25. So, what are your thoughts, sir?
I hate this list. I hate this list with a passion. This is insane, bro. Like, obviously, one through four, I'm not mad at. I'm not even mad at Georgia remaining at 5. I'm not impressed with them whatsoever, but I do understand you can't have Tennessee over Georgia, especially with the same losses. You're gonna have Georgia over that. So I'm not mad at the top 6. I don't understand how Ohio State 7. I do not understand that. They lost to an unranked Michigan game, and I get it. People are gonna be like, oh, it's a rivalry game. So no. Forget all that. I think SMU should be higher than them. I think Boise State should be higher than them. And then I would probably place Ohio State, then Indiana. Bama, get them the fuck out of here. I don't know why they're even close to sniffing the top 10. I
told you why, man.
I would have Arizona State over them. I would probably have UNLV over them. I get it. The schedule says no. But my eye test says yes. My eye test tells me UNLV is a better team than Alabama. I've been saying this shit, and Chris can attest to it. I even said, I think UNLV can beat Bama. I said that. I'm standing 10 toes down in that shit. UNLV can beat Bama. So I don't know how that is. The Miami loss was pretty bad. So I understand why they're 14. I think Clemson should be near 25 than 18. I don't know why they're still in the top 20. I would not have them in the top 20 at all. I think the Syracuse win was really impressive. I low-key think they should be ahead of Missouri. Little stuff like that. But for the most part, my two biggest issues are Bama and Ohio State and where they're placed at, because it's just kind of given the ammo to continuously have these guys, well, not so much Ohio State, but more so Bama, to have them in the conversation to possibly make the top the 12-team playoff, when me personally, I don't think they deserve to be in discussions to make the top 12, the college football top 12 playoff.
I hear you, brother. I do.
Here we go. But you know what they say.
This confirms what I just told you with Alabama. Mm-hmm. Clemson helped them get in the top 12. That's how they looked at it. If Clemson wins, we're not even talking about Alabama right now. I'm just telling you. I think Clemson would have been at 12. And matter of fact, I think Clemson would have been at 11. And I think South Carolina might have been at 12. Well, not South Carolina, but I don't know. Probably Iowa State. But
see, this is why I say Alabama shouldn't even still get in, because Clemson is playing for the ACC championship game. So if they were to win, they would leapfrog Alabama anyway. So the loss really doesn't even matter. So why are we having the discussion with Bama about making the top 12? Like, they wouldn't even get. As I said, Alabama's not getting in. So why are we playing with this dumbass notion? Not you, but just the overall general aspects of sports media trying to act like Bama deserves to get the 12 spots, one of the 12 spots. They do not. They do not. And they're not. And if they
Look,
do, it just shows how much of a joke this whole thing is.
look, man. I agree with you. I don't think Bama should get in. I think that they're not that good this year. They've been underachieved most of the season. They should have beat Vanderbilt. Why are
Mm-hmm.
you losing to Vanderbilt? Why are you losing to Oklahoma, who can't even pass the goddamn ball?
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at you too, Ohio State. But why are you losing to teams that ain't got no quarterback?
Mm-hmm.
So I hear you. I really do. I'm not advocating for. Don't take me for. I'm advocating for
I
Alabama.
know. I
I'm
just gotta
just
take it out on you because you're trying to be the devil's advocate. I know.
I'm just telling you how the committee thinks, and it's SEC biasness. Let's just call it for what it is, bro. They want Alabama in there because they know that those fans will travel. That's what this always has been about. The bowl games have always been about that. What teams fans will travel because it's all about big business. It's all about money,
Let me ask
ticket
you.
sales.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. This is a real question. This too. It's a real question. Serious question. Who do you think will bring more eyes to a game? Alabama and Jalen Milroe, or Shador Sanders and Deion Sanders in Colorado? Who you think will make who you think will get the most eyes on that game?
I don't know, man. I think Bama will still because those fans
I don't I don't think
they're,
so.
they're
I think
those
more
fans are
people will see this
rabid,
game.
man. They're rabid, man.
I don't look. I
Colorado will
get.
bring
Hold on,
out
hold on,
more superstars. They'll
hold
bring
on.
out more celebrities.
No, no, no. I get it. The fan base for Alabama is way bigger than Colorado's. Yes, but I think more people would have much more interest in Colorado and watching that game than they would Bama. Because in the sense of, I think there is more people who would want to root for Dion or want him to lose in an embarrassing fashion on a national spotlight. I don't think like people still kind of do that with Bama, but it's kind of like, they're here, like we get it, like they're one of the great institutions. But to actually see Deion Sanders and Shador Sanders in Colorado have a chance for a national championship, I think that would bring more eyes than Bama would. Right, currently, right now, I think so, because I think we all know what we're getting from Jalen Milroe. I know it's not exciting football, and I'm still seeing people, putting him. And I hate to do this to the kid, but at least with my eyes, like I don't think Jalen Milroe is a first round talent. I just don't think
I
he
don't
is.
either.
Like
I don't
I,
think he
I,
is
I
either.
barely think he's even a second round talent the way he throws the ball. Like he has a lot he needs to work on.
I think he needs
So
another year.
now I think me and you both agree to that. I just don't think it'll be at Bama though.
Yeah, I think he needs. I think he needs another year for sure. For sure. Yeah, I think he needs a damn Kendrick cleaning up on the Billboard Awards charts. But yeah, I think he needs another year. But you know what they see in him, and which is funny because everybody's kind of down. Even though, we'll talk about him and Anthony Richardson. He's been playing a lot better since he's gotten benched.
Hey, they're
Came
allowing
back.
him to be Anthony Richardson. Like he run the ball.
I think that's what they see in Jalen Milroe. And if he gets with the
But
right
Anthony
coach,
Richardson throws the ball better than Jalen Milroe. Like I know Anthony Richardson has his problems throwing, but like Jalen Milroe is terrible. He's terrible. He that boy. I said, bro. I know he's young, bro, and I don't want to do this, bro. But let's call it a spade, bro. Like he's not a good thrower of the football. He's not. He's not. Like I think Tebow throws the better than goddamn Jalen Milroe.
okay, I don't know.
Especially in college, I'm in college. Who threw the ball better, Jalen Milroe or Tim Tebow? Let's
I don't
stop the
know.
bullshit. I get it. In the NFL, it wasn't that good, but in college football, Tim Tebow threw the ball better than Jalen Milroe. Why do you think he has all them stats? He threw the ball better. The deep
Yeah,
ball was
because he
way
could
better.
dump it off to Percy Harvin.
But it was dots though. That deep ball was dots though. Like we can't sit here and deny that. Like I watched Tim Tebow for 4 years, bro. Come on, man.
Damn, what did Irwin do to the Bengals?
Ooh.
The white boy. He always caught everything. What's his name threw at him? Anyway, yeah, Jalen Milroe. Look, He probably not. If he's going to the league because they're already telling him he's a first round pick.
Nah, he gonna go, but look, man, God bless him. I hope everything works out for Jalen Monroe. I want nothing
I
but
just hope he
success for
goes to
that
the
kid.
right. Please,
Yeah, just
please,
go to the right situation, bro. Because if you go
please,
in that bad
please,
situation, you're gonna be the
please,
next like bust
Jalen.
quarterback
I
for
don't
real.
know if you probably. I don't. Hopefully, this gets to you, sir. Don't go to the Jets, man.
God, no, that's a bad situation right there.
Do not go to the Jets.
That's not gonna look good.
Go somewhere where there's a veteran quarterback that can help you.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason you would go to the Jets is they still got Tyrod Taylor there. Because then at least you'll have some veteran leadership. If Aaron Rodgers is still there, don't go there. Do not go there with Aaron Rodgers. You will learn how to be a depressed young man early.
Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact.
So do not go to the Jets. I hope for the love of God, Jets don't draft Jalen Milroe. Leave him alone, man. You're gonna ruin that kid. Let him go somewhere else, Tampa Bay or something. I don't know.
Jalen Milroe need to go to a place like
That
who would
was
be
in
a good
Tampa
situation?
Bay. He could sit behind a couple years behind Baker Mayfield.
I think that would be a really good situation. I think the Steelers situation would be a good situation. Um, mm, the Saints, nah, I don't like that situation. Um,
Yeah, because I would have to
Seahawks,
see.
I like the Seahawks situation. I think him sitting behind Gino would be a really good look.
That's
I
good.
think that's a really good situation.
Hmm.
I wouldn't mind. I know they
Maybe
just
the
signed Daniel.
Rams. Maybe the Rams.
I would
Maybe
like
the
that
Rams.
because you get Sean McVay. I think Sean McVay can work with him. I think him sitting behind Matthew Stafford. We all know he's getting up there as far as with age. We don't know how many more years he has. I think that would be a really really good situation. Um, I think the Vikings situation would be a really good situation. I know they signed Daniel Jones, but I don't see him being the long term. And I know they still got JJ McCarthy, but you know how I feel about JJ. Like I got to see it to believe it with him. I think he's kind of like in the same instance as like a Will Levis to me, but we'll see about that situation. He has to come back from injury, so I think it might be hard for them. Patriots aren't doing nothing. I'm so happy about Bryce Young. I know I'm gonna talk about him later. They're not doing anything. Um, Maybe the Dolphins. I know they got the situation with Tua. You know what I mean? Especially long term health wise, we got to start factoring that in. But maybe that's a possible landing destination. Yeah, don't come to
Yeah.
my Raiders though. Don't come to my Raiders. Don't go to the Giants either. Don't go to the Giants either. You don't need to go to the Giants either. Nah.
Not with Malik Neighbors over there. Cussing them out by week 2.
Hey man, New York Giants fans. Hey, get ready for the Carson Beck experience. That's gonna be y'all guy. I'm trying to.
Malik Neighbors and George Pickens are the Spider Man meme.
Who do you think's better?
As a receiver,
Mhm.
then they're equal.
I think Malik Neighbors runs better routes
Probably.
than
But
George.
listen, but George
But I
just
think I think the way
George
I've
can
been seeing
catch.
it though, the way I've been seeing, I think George Pickens got better hands though.
That's what I'm saying. I
Because
think
Malik
George
Neighbors be dropping balls, bro. He be dropping
Yeah,
a
he
lot of
do.
balls, bro. He do.
George
I
Pickens
like
to
Malik,
me,
but
George has a lot of DeAndre. He has DeAndre Hopkins type
he
hands.
do. He remind me of DeAndre a lot.
That's what I'm saying. He got
He remind me
DeAndre
of
Hopkins
DeAndre. He remind me of like a DeAndre
with a little
AJ
bit more
Green
speed.
type
A little bit more speed.
hybrid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. With a little bit
Because
more
he
speed.
because the way he runs, he kind of runs like an AJ Green in a sense, and
Yeah.
DeAndre a little bit. It's similarities to it. He got the attitude of like a fucking goddamn Latrell Sprewell though. Goddamn.
He ready to fight, beating it.
Bro, me, bro. He's like the Rasheed Wallace of goddamn football, bro. Like it's crazy. I love the fire in this stuff.
That's
He
just
fits with Tomlin though. Like I
no,
think
he
Tomlin's
does.
he's the only head coach that I think can get through George
Yeah,
Pickens. I think
yeah,
it was a
for real.
perfect match made for him.
I agree. I agree. That's why I be telling Chiefs Kingdom, look, man, I love Andy Reid. Andy Reid, he ain't got time
He
for
ain't
that
tolerating that shit. Nah.
shit.
He be in the
Andy
doghouse
Reid ain't
every
got time for that
every week.
shit.
He would never get on the field, bro. He would never get.
He-
Scott Moore be in all the reps. He'd be mad. That's what happened with your one of your homies, right? What was his name? Watson or something. He just
Who?
did a doghouse a lot. What was his name? Then the young cat that y'all like, but they ended up cutting him. What was his name? His name like
Oh, you
Watson
talking
or
about
something?
Justin Ross?
Justin Ross. Yeah, Justin Ross. I don't know why I
No, he
thought.
just didn't know the damn play. He didn't know where to line up at. He played a couple games this year though.
But I'm just saying in the sense of like Andy Reid, like we all
Yeah,
know Ross has talent, like you know what I mean. But
yeah.
Andy Reid ain't playing with that shit.
But
He
if
ain't
you
got
don't
time
know
for
where
that.
to line up, if you don't know where to line up at, and I can't use you, brother, then
Yeah, that's true. You know what I
it
mean?
is what it
It's
is.
part of it though. Like you
Yeah,
can't you don't understand the playbook, you ain't getting played.
yeah,
Your attitude ain't aligned with the way the team is. You're not playing. You gonna show up people. You're not playing. It's not gonna happen. So
yeah, for sure.
unless your name is Travis Kelsey.
And Andy Reid, he tolerates a lot of stuff. He does tolerate because he tolerated
Nah, because
Kadarius
Travis Kelsey
Tony.
does it all the time. He be getting mad all the time and throwing little temper tantrums and shit for no fucking reason. Like I like you, Travis, but goddamn, bro, you need to go back to dating a black girl. This Taylor Swift shit is not working for you, bro.
Mhm.
He lost all his swag, bro.
All the hell, the one girl, Kayla, she can't get over it. She on there crying and
Ah, I
shit.
saw that. Oh my god, bro, get
Get
like
over,
goddamn,
move on,
get
baby.
over it, bro. Like you can't find nobody else. Like you
You
bad
too
too.
fine. Yeah, you too fine for that.
You too fine to be crying over Travis. He lost all the swag. Like you the main reason why he has swag. I know. We'll talk about that. We ain't even hit the NFL yet.
I'm gonna let you have it because I ain't talking about that game. I want to talk about that game.
No, yeah, we talking about that. Yes, sir.
You talk about it. All right, go on. The floor is yours. You want to talk about your Lakers? Go ahead, man. Put your rant on.
All right, man. Listen here, man. Hey, the time is here, man. You know what I mean? I know y'all love my rants and shit. I know half of y'all probably rolling your eyes when I be going off, but listen here, man. The Lakers, I know we're currently 12-8 right now. We're sitting in the sixth seed in the West. We play the Timberwolves tonight. Look, man, it's time to call it with this team. Like Rob Pelinka, I don't know what the hell you're doing. Um, you're just kind of living off this whole, I don't know, aura of you being Kobe Bryant's agent, uh, and then you haven't really done anything to improve this team. You just kind of been sitting, dwelling, watching this team just be wasted, watching Anthony Davis be wasted. We watched LeBron be wasted. Like, I get it. He had a good game last week. I mean, yesterday, but let's call a spade, man. The LeBron and the Lakers barely beat the Jazz, who are one of the worst teams in the league right now. We barely won that. And we probably should have lost if the head coach of the Utah Jazz didn't call that goddamn timeout and just let Sexton hit the layup. Like, it was crazy. So, this team has a lot of issues. We do definitely need another big man. Austin Reeves, I feel like, has regressed. He's turning the ball over at a crazy clip. I think LeBron, he's averaging like 4 turnovers a game, which is insane for LeBron. Look, man, LeBron, like we got to start being understanding that LeBron isn't LeBron anymore. Like, I get the numbers say he still is, but he doesn't have that control over a game like he used to. He just doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, we see it every time. Like, we can't beat any of the big teams. The only teams that we can beat are subpar, mediocre teams, or terrible, and we even struggle at that at times. We're not beating the Thunder. We can't beat the Suns. We for sure can't beat the Nuggets. Like, they have our number like crazy. I don't know what our medical staff is doing either. Like, Vando, what are you doing, brother? Like, you've been sitting on the bench for the last 2 years over a foot injury. Like, if it's really that big of a problem, like, bro, you need to either get a second opinion or find a new find some new way to heal your foot, because I've seen you do more fashion runways than you being on the court. Like this is crazy. D'Lo, I can't wait till this man get traded. Like, but the only bright spot about this team, honestly, has been have been Anthony Davis and Dalton Connect. I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm personally ready for this LeBron thing to be over with. Like, no disrespect to him. Like, everybody knows I'm not the biggest LeBron guy, but I do respect his career and everything he's done for this game for sure. But I just think, man, I think me personally, as part of this Laker Nation fandom, that I'm personally burnt out on this LeBron experience, and I'm ready for this team to get rid of his money off the books so we can actually rebuild this team and hopefully give some of the Anthony Davis, who's in his prime currently right now, give him a solid team around him. You know what I mean? Possibly make some trades. We'll have more freedom. We don't have to give up all of our capital away just to please LeBron. there are some parts that we potentially could get in this trade. Like Gabe Vincent has to go. Like we got to stop fucking signing Miami Heat point guards. They just do not work out for us. So hopefully we can get a big man. There's a lot of rumors about Nurkic maybe coming. I mean, not Nurkic, Vucevic, my bad, from the Bulls. I also wouldn't mind if we can find a package to get maybe a Cam Johnson and Dennis Schroeder back. There's also rumors about Kyle Kuzma, Zach LaVine, and Trae Young. So I think the Lakers got to make a move. If Rob Pelinka don't make a move, I swear to God, like El Segundo is going to get rioted, and Rob Pelinka, he's going to be on the first board out. So, hopefully we can win tonight against the Timberwolves, man. But that's my little baby rant for the Lakers, man. You know what I mean? It's this team. This team is just, man. It's been a bad sports years for me, dog. It's been really bad for me, man.
Is that bad, sir?
Well, at the beginning for the Raiders, it was bad, but I accepted it, and then I'm more looking forward to getting the number one pick. So I've kind of turned that into a glass half full scenario. With this Lakers situation, I don't know, man. It's just getting unbearable, bro. Like we cannot do anything on defense, and it just seems like a lot of players that I thought would progress is regressing. Bronny taking a spot from, I forgot my man's name, the point guard who's been killing in the summer league. It's kind of crazy to me as well too, but we'll see. We play the Timberwolves tonight, so we see if we can get a win.
For sure, brother. Well, I hope it gets better. It's early, man. It's still early, man. Y'all be all right.
I get it's early, but I'm seeing the same tendencies that this team has been. Like they keep holding this team together for reasons I don't understand. Like we're literally seeing the same problems that we've been having the last 2 years. Like defensively, we're terrible. We're inconsistent at the three. We're small as minus Anthony Davis. Like our backup centers are terrible. Like we turn over the ball too much. LeBron looks lazy half of the time during the whole goddamn game, and then he wants to actually give a damn the last moments of the game when he don't do shit. Like there are a couple games where he actually does something. Like you can show me all these triple doubles that all you fucking want, but what impact do they really have when you can barely even beat the goddamn Jazz? You can barely beat the goddamn Jazz and Colin Sexton, and should have lost. You can't beat the Suns. You for sure can't beat goddamn the Nuggets because they just own us. Like, don't even get me started on us playing the Thunder. Like, that's not happening. We're not beating the Celtics. We're not beating the 76ers. Shit. No, we did beat the 76ers, but the New York Knicks, like, this is ridiculous, man. Like, it's crazy. It's like I don't know what they're looking at. I don't know what Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka are looking at, hoping that this team is actually going to do anything different that they haven't done for 2 years. Like, it's clinically insane for you to allow this team to just remain the same and not do anything. Not do anything. And Vando, like, what are you doing, brother? Like, what are you doing to get back on the court? Like, at all? Like, I'm not trying to say that you're not trying, but like, brother, like it makes no sense why you got surgery right before training camp. I'm like, what were you doing all summer? Like, why didn't you get surgery right after the season? Like, you were out during the playoffs. So what you been doing? Like, oh my God, Vando's climbing up that list too, up there with D'Lo. So. Man, you just got me started again. I was actually off the it's next subject, bro. I apologize.
All right. So I'm throwing a little audible. I'm gonna play I want to play a game. I know we playing the game later, but I want to play a game with you, sir.
All right.
Called NFL Hot Seat.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna read off some head coach names in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And you tell me if they cold, lukewarm, or hot to get fired. This season. All right. Mm-hmm. Number 1, Giants head coach Brian Daboll.
I think it has to be hot. I think in the situation that he's in, it doesn't really look good, especially with the names that are out there available. I think his situation has to be hot.
Okay. Number 2, Kyle Shanahan.
I'm gonna say cold. I think it should probably be lukewarm, just on the basis of them not being able to close out and taking the opportunity with this team that they do have. But I think they're going to remain loyal to Kyle Shanahan. This has been a bad year with injuries and obviously other circumstances involving some of the players, man. That I wish prayers and condolences for them as well. But it's been a trying year for them. I think it's still cold, but if this doesn't get resolved here in the next by next year, which I know they're gonna have to make a lot of decisions next year, especially with like Debo Samuel and some other players, that it could start getting warm. But right now, I say cold.
Gerard Mayo.
I say cold. It's his first year. Like, I get it that a lot of Patriots fans aren't a fan of Gerard Mayo's. I see it like every week on my timeline that Patriots fans are like over it. But I think Robert Kraft he understands that this is going to take some time for them to rebuild this thing, and I think they're going to allow him to have his opportunity to actually try to shape it the way that he wants it. So I give him. I think he's solid for at least 2 more years.
Mike McDaniel.
Ooh, I say lukewarm. It's getting lukewarm. I think Mike McDaniel. He's a great offensive mind, but it's something is left to be desired. I think this team has been playing pretty good the last couple of weeks, especially with Tua coming back. It all stems with Tua, man, with this team. But I know for a fact that owner, he can make some rash decisions every now and then. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's on a warm seat and you start hearing little rumblings about maybe Mike McDaniel's losing his job. But I still think he's safe. But it's getting a little warm.
Doug Peterson.
Oh, bro. Like, y'all seen the meme with the dog in hell? That's Doug Peterson currently right now. It's over, bro. He's cooked. He's cooked like a deep fried turkey, bro. Like, it's over. It's all right.
Kevin Stefanski.
I say it's probably warm, close to hot. I don't personally think he deserves that with the situation that he was dealt with. Like, Deshaun Watson has looked terrible. He wasn't the one that signed him to that contract. They're in a terrible cap space right now. He was what is he, like a 2-time head coach of the year or something like that? How many times did he win coach of the year? 2 times. So it's not like he's a bad head coach. I just think he was dealt raw cards these last couple of years, especially just I swear if he had the choice, I think he would have sat Deshaun Watson earlier this year and just kind of went with Jameis Winston or whoever else, or Dorian Thomason. But he's just in a bad situation. But with that owner, man, you just never know. I wouldn't be surprised. So I would say it's warm, getting close to hot.
AP.
AP, my brother, man. I love you, man. I always will root on for my brothers, and I want the best for you. But rumors are, man, it's not looking good, man. So I'm gonna say it's hot. It's on fire right now.
Zach Taylor.
It's getting really warm, man, for him. It really is. Like, you're wasting really great years from Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. T. Higgins is going to be gone. That defense hasn't gotten any better. It's getting really warm. I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the ones that are one of the surprising fires of the year.
Yeah, last but not least, Mike McCarthy.
Man, this is tough. I don't know, man, because I think Jerry Jones is going to stay pat, bro. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I say it in Cowboy fans' eyes, he's burning to the ground. But in Jerry Jones's eyes, I say it's warm. Like, but I don't think he's going anywhere. I think I could see him maybe giving him like a 2-year deal or something like that. I don't think he's going to go nowhere. I can't see Jerry Jones relinquishing power to Bill Belichick or Mike Vrabel. I can't see any of those two guys. I can't see a Ben Johnson going over there. The only person I may think that might go there is maybe an Aaron Glenn, but why would you want to leave that situation? Why would you want to leave the situation you have in Detroit to go to Dallas, where you're not going to have any kind of input? I know Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn was a coach before, right? So I don't think he wants to waste his next opportunity just for anything. But it is the Dallas Cowboys, so it is a prominent brand, so it could be appealing. But I don't know. I think Jerry Jones is stuck in his ways. I think he's comfortable with Mike McCarthy.
For sure. All right, man. Let's do our better surefire picks.
Yes, sir. All right. So well tonight. I'm gonna go with the Browns plus 3.5. I know the Broncos are the better team, but I think the Browns have been playing some inspired football. You know, as long as Jameis Winston doesn't turn the ball over, I think they'll remain close. I could still see the Broncos win by 3, but I think that half a point, I think that can help out a lot. Um, Tonight, I'm gonna take the Timberwolves minus 7.5. Man, I just don't personally believe the Lakers are gonna win this game. I think Anthony Davis and the Timberwolves, I think they've been playing a lot better since their earlier season woes. So I'm gonna take them. I'm gonna take the Pelicans plus 9.5. I think that's a really good situation. And Deontay Murray coming back. Obviously they're getting a little bit more healthier, so I like that. And then Celtics coming off that loss to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm gonna go -8 with them. I think they're gonna be very dominant tonight, and I think they're gonna blow it, win the game huge. So that's my hot four for today.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Cleveland Browns +6, and I'm also take the under in that game. And I also like anytime touchdown from Nick Chubb and anytime touchdown from Cortland Sutton.
For sure.
So you go to our any of our social media websites. You'll see the link for the Bet US website. Click it. This is first time users only. Bet a minimum of 100 up to $5,000. Could put in the promo code join 125. You get 3 risk-free bets on your first 3 deposits. 125% signing bonus, um, which means that your first 3 bets, like I said, $100, up to 5,000. Your first 3 bets that you make, if you lose, you keep your $100.
Mm-hmm.
So you can win money, and if you lose, you keep your money. So on your first 3 bets. So go ahead and sign up, man. They're gonna make you some money and tell them Cris and Mal sent you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
that'll do it for our Bet US Surefire Pigs. Mm. What do you feel is the future for Aaron Rodgers?
Mm, I think currently right now, I think all signs are pointing to him. He's going to be gone from the New York Jets. I know he says he still wants to play, but I kind of when I'm thinking about all the teams that could potentially be open for quarterbacks, who would want a 40-plus-year-old quarterback who just has his own daytime show every week with McAfee, Pat McAfee, and you don't know what he's going to kind of say at this particular time. That's just causing so much stuff on outside notice, man. I don't know who it could be. I think my man's gonna have a hard time finding a job next year. I wouldn't be surprised if it ultimately pushes him into retirement. Um, I'm very curious to see what happens to his boy Devontae. I don't personally see him staying in New York without Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, depending on the quarterback situation with him, but you know what I mean? I think that would be the more interesting question on where Devontae ends up going. I wouldn't be surprised if obviously the Deontay Johnson stuff hasn't worked out with the Ravens. It looks like he's not even getting in. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Devontae considers maybe going playing with Lamar. Or, if he really hates the Raiders that bad, I don't know if he can make a deal with the Chiefs or something. I don't know. I don't know, man. But
I don't know about that one.
or maybe even the Steelers. I mean, maybe the Steelers because I know they need another receiver. So I think that would be another situation. I think that could be maybe something to look at with him. But as far as Aaron Rodgers, I think he's gonna end up retired next year. I don't think he's gonna play.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's done. He looks cooked out there, man. Um, he's not the same player. He looks old. That's what he looks like. He's like an old player. You know what
Could
I'm
you see
saying?
any team potentially giving
Oh,
him
of
an
course,
opportunity?
of
Who?
course.
Who?
The team that's in the same city.
Who? The Giants?
Yep.
I did hear rumors about maybe him, Devontae, and Bill Belichick going over to the Giants, but why would you want that? Like you saw the results of that. Like he's
Or
just
I
not
could
he's
see
Aaron Rodgers.
I could see one of those like mid those teams that you know They feel like they just need a quarterback to resurge them and get their fans base excited, which I don't see them getting excited for. But I can see Tennessee.
The only team I honestly could honestly see because they'll be so desperate to do anything, but it just all depends on if Aaron Rodgers would be willing to work with them, would be the Cleveland Browns because of how desperate they are in the situation that they're in. Especially, let's say, if they keep their head coach Stefanski, and they know he knows that it's getting tight. Maybe they try to reach out to Aaron Rodgers, be like, "Look, we ain't got the money for you, but we have a starting job for you." You know what I mean? Like, Deshaun Watson ain't coming back anytime soon. I don't think he's going to be ready by the start of next year, especially with that Achilles. So, and even then, it's gonna take him a while to even get his rhythm back. So, do you even want to like try to chance that? So, I think that might be the only team. Besides that, if you're Tennessee, why would you like? I know you're not a Will Levis fan, but he has potentials. Like, he has a better arm than Aaron Rodgers currently at this particular time. Like, he just does idiotic turnovers. But I
There
don't
is
know.
one more. There is one more team. I think it'd be a big mistake. But there is one more team that I
Who?
can see.
The Falcons.
Nah, hell no. They have Michael Penix. Be the point of that.
I don't know.
The San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, Purdy's a better quarterback, though. I think they're going to end up paying him, though.
But to not pay him.
Like, that's a decision that they're going to have to make, though. Like, he's already having shoulder problems. He already had elbow surgery. You know what I mean? Like, we can't sit here and deny that he's performed really well. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Shoulder injury, but I don't know, man. Like, I think the San Francisco 49ers have so many issues right now that they got to kind of like get through in the offseason. I think adding Aaron Rodgers just doesn't the feng shui just doesn't add up right to me. I don't know. I just can't see anybody, honestly. I really can't. I can't see Minnesota. I think they're happy with their situation. The Cardinals are happy with their situation. Dallas Cowboys paid Dak Prescott. I can't see that. Seattle, no. The Giants, maybe. You know what I mean? But why would they want to go through that? They see what it looks like very closely. The Panthers, I think they're good with Bryce Young. Jacksonville, they signed Trevor Lawrence, so I can't see that. I only said Atlanta because I know they signed Penix, but maybe for some reason, I know the age says he should be ready, but maybe for some reason they're not seeing what they like in him as far as practice, so maybe they might consider. And then Kirk Cousins has looked god awful. So, but then again, it's like, why would you go? You just signed a QB coming off an Achilles injury. Why would you go to another one that had an Achilles injury? That would make no sense, especially off of which I don't know. I just don't see anybody. Well, my question is, where do you see Devontae going?
If he's not Adams?
Mm-hmm. If Aaron Rodgers is not there, he's not staying with the Jets.
He'll go to a contender. Steelers, maybe the Ravens. I don't see him coming to us. He would have to
pay for it. He would have to pay cut.
Yeah, he would have to take a significant. I think they would just rather
what about
we'll just bring back, because I think the Chiefs would just be like, we'll just bring back Hollywood or D Hop. You know what I'm saying, on the 1 year.
What about Cincinnati?
Possible, but I don't know, because Mike Brown ain't paying. He ain't paying nobody but Jamar.
He's older, so he might be able to get him for cheaper.
Yeah, you could.
Like, if Devontae got his money. So if he keeps preaching like he wants to win a championship. So if you want to win a championship, Joe Burrow, like, T. Higgins is gonna be gone. So you pair him
Buffalo.
They just got Amari Cooper. I don't know.
But he's a free agent after this.
He's a free agent. Yeah, I guess you could do Devontae. Like, I think that would be a really good fit. Now, would Devontae want to live in Buffalo? I don't know. That's a question.
It's cold as hell out there.
I don't know.
You know where I can see him going, and I know that everybody.
Maybe the Cowboys.
I can see that too, but I could also see the Cardinals. I can see Arizona.
I can see Arizona. Maybe San Francisco, depending on the situation with Debo.
I think Debo's gone. I think
Debo's gone. But
and then you don't know, Brandon Ayuk's not coming back probably till like week 10 next year.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I got a sleeper. You know who I might think who could probably get Devontae Adams, and I think
Mhm.
it'll be annoying, but it'll be a scary fit. San Diego, the Chargers,
Chargers, yeah,
the Chargers.
yeah, yeah,
They need a true number one, and you put
yeah.
Devontae next to Lad
Lad
McConkey.
McConkey, yeah,
Woo!
probably,
Boy, and he's a good possession receiver. So, and then we know Justin Herbert can throw that ball. So,
and he'll be
like, I
good
hate
for
to say
Quentin,
it, but the Chargers might be the best fit for Devontae if he was
and
gonna.
and he'll be good for Quentin Johnson too.
He would definitely be. So, and then he'll be in the city. I think he would probably like him and his
Of
wife. You know what I
course,
mean?
of course.
So it's not too. I don't know the situation with him going to New York. I'm assuming that wifey and the kid are still here in Vegas until they figure out what
No,
his off season is going to look like. But let's say he moved to LA. It's not that far of a move, from here to
no,
Vegas. It's a
and
quick
he's close to home
hour
too.
drive. Yeah, it's close to
He's
home too. So yeah, Fresno. He went to Fresno State. So
mhm.
I think honestly, it's looking like I think that would probably be the answer. Would probably be
Yeah,
the
you
Chargers,
right.
and I think they got the money for it too. So
They do. Yeah, you right. You right.
I mean, man, you know what I'm saying? I got a little some in the noggin. Sometimes, man, it's not all there, but it's there on that one.
All right, let's go ahead and do this. Would you rather game?
All right, yeah. So, would you rather? It's a new addition. So this is gonna be with Ashton Genty, the running back from Boise State. So obviously he's coming in the draft next year. So I picked a couple names, a couple running backs, and depending on their situation, contract and situation, age, injury history, would you rather have them or Ashton Genty? So, sir, are you ready?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, man. All right. So number one, would you rather have Ashton Genty or Aaron Jones?
Ashton Genty.
Yeah, factor in contract, what he's doing this year,
He's
age, all
younger, and he's younger, and he's better at this point in his career, probably.
that.
So
Okay.
I like Aaron Jones too, but he's injury prone. He gets
Yeah.
hurt a lot.
All right, number two, Ashton Genty or Bucky Irving.
Oh, that's a good one right there. Bucky's coming along now.
Bucky's nice. Yeah.
Man, that's difficult.
And
I'm gonna
I don't
stick
think
with
he has a
Bucky.
big country.
I'm gonna
You'll stick
stick
with
with
Bucky.
Bucky. I'm gonna
Why
stick
Bucky?
with
Why
Bucky.
would you stick with him?
I think that he's starting to come along. He's still young. He's only going to be a year,
Yeah, true. True that.
ahead of him. You know what I'm saying, as far as career wise. So I
Yeah.
mean, and I think Bucky fits what they do of it. He can catch out of the backfield. He can run.
Yeah.
They're two different running backs too. But yeah, I'll stick with Bucky, even though Genty's special. But I think Bucky's special too.
Okay. Next up, Ashton Genty or James Conner slash
Oh,
Trey Benson.
Ashton Genty. What are we doing here?
Even
And
over
I
Trey
like Trey
Benson.
Benson, and I love Trey Benson, but it just hasn't come along for them in Arizona. Maybe next year when he gets the playbook a little bit better. Sometimes it just takes players a little bit more time. But give me Genty.
Okay. All right. Next up, Ashton Genty or Devon Achen.
Genty, because Achin cannot stay healthy to save his damn life.
Yeah.
He always hurt, man. He's baller, but he always fucking hurt.
Yeah. I feel it. I would agree. All right. Next up, Ashton Genty or Nick Chubb.
Genty, because Chubb's on the last legs, and he just coming off that horrible injury. And I hope he can get his stuff back. Maybe next year he'll look more rare form, but give me Genty.
Okay. All right. Next up, Ashton Genty or Brian Robinson Jr.
Genty, because Robinson has injury problems too.
I feel you. All right. Next up, Ashton Genty or Joe Mixon.
Ashton Genty. He's younger.
Yeah.
I like Mixon. Mixon is balling this year, but give me Genty. Give me the fresh legs, man.
Okay. All right, a couple more. All right, next up, Ashton Genty or Alvin Kamara.
Oh, that's a difficult one right there. I don't know, man. That's difficult right there. Slight edge to Genty because he's younger.
Okay. Alvin Kamara's been playing pretty good, though.
He is. He's balling. I can't deny it.
All right. Let's make this a little fun. All right, next up, Ashton Genty or Derrick Henry.
I don't know, man. That's the that's for the Ravens. I'm gonna go with Derrick Henry.
No, over Ashton. Why is that?
Yeah. Have you seen how this man is running right now?
I know. Hey, I know. But he is getting
Running.
older though. He is getting
He
older
is.
though.
Damn. Nah. Give me Genty. He's younger.
Okay. All right. Next up, Ashton Genty or Isaiah Pacheco.
Genty.
Man, quick, huh?
I ain't
Quick.
I love Isaiah Pacheco, but Genty,
Damn.
Genty with Patrick Mahomes, give me that.
Damn, you threw
Inject
your
it
boy
into my
quick.
veins.
Hey, Pacheco. Hey, you see this?
I
You
love
see
you,
this
Pacheco,
guy? He
and I
threw
love
you
and I
quick.
love that you're back.
Threw
I
you
love
away
that you're
quick.
back.
Oh, that's crazy. That's
But
crazy.
one, you're a little injury prone, dog. You been getting hurt the past few seasons.
Wow. Where the love at? Where's
And
the
and
love?
two, Genty just got that breakaway speed that we need, though.
Hey, Pacheco. Hey, if you want to come to
But
Ravens,
hey,
Pacheco, come
Pacheco,
through.
you can still stay on the team, dog.
That's crazy.
Come in on
would you
third
would you say
down.
would you say that's consensus? Y'all would take Genty over Pacheco.
Hell yeah. What?
All right. That's crazy. Dirty
Sign
work.
him
Dirty
up.
work. Be from your own
Sign me.
people. Be from your own people.
Sign me up.
All right, last one. Last one. Ashton Genty or Christian McCaffrey.
Man, it's gotta be Genty, man. You see Christian, man. He
Yeah.
and this ain't nothing new. He was getting hurt when he was with Carolina. So
Mm-hmm.
you just don't know. Like when he's at his peak, he might be the best. But when he's not, when he's hurt, he's hurt, man. He's on the IR now.
Yeah.
They talking about 6 weeks. Hell, 6 weeks he gonna be in Cancun.
No, that's true. Man, so
Hey,
so you took damn near everybody over. You took Genty over almost everybody except Bucky Irvin.
yeah. That's because it's just the youth. You know, he's young. With apples to oranges over there, man.
I feel it. I feel it. I feel it.
If you was at like, I think that I would have picked like if you was at Tyrone Tracy or Genty, I might take Tyrone Tracy. You know what I'm saying? Like they only a year removed from each other.
All right, I got one more. Who would you rather have, Genty or Jonathan Taylor?
See, I don't know. That one's hard because I don't know. It's probably gonna be till next year till Jonathan Taylor looks like. Well, you said Jonathan Taylor from what's your name? I'm thinking of Brooks.
Oh, we can go Chuba Hubbard. We can go Chuba Hubbard.
After what he did yesterday, I'm going Genty.
I guess when you think about it, the only running back you would probably not touch would probably be Saquon. Who else wouldn't you want to touch? I think you would keep Chuba Hubbard. I think you would keep Chuba and Jonathan Brooks. Maybe. I don't know. Jonathan Taylor. I think I'll probably take Genty. I'll probably take Genty over Taylor.
Only because Taylor can get hurt too. He be getting hurt too.
Yeah. I'll take Genty over DeAndre Swift. Even DeAndre Swift has played really well.
I mean, even though he has played well, but Genty would.
I would take Genty over Tracy Jr. I would.
Probably.
I would.
Even though he's balling, but yeah.
The only other person I probably want to touch is probably Brian Robinson. Not Brian Robinson.
Bijan
Robinson. Yeah. I want to touch Bijan. Bijan's.
No.
We see the potential of Bijan. Bijan's good. He's really
good. They just don't use him enough.
They just don't use him right. Yeah. Derrick Henry's tough because
he is tough. That's why
he's like LeBron. Like he it looks like he's getting better, but sooner or later, Father Time is gonna whoop his ass. You know what I mean?
I think next year might. I wouldn't be surprised if it's next year he hits that wall. Like this year, he has that because you go to a new team, you're fresh, you're feeling good, but then next season is like the old dude falls apart.
Yeah, that Cooper DeJean hit might have killed the momentum right there. I ain't never seen Derrick Henry get tackled like that, brother. It wasn't even like crazy, but just him.
It was a nice form tackle. It was a nice form tackle.
That was nice. Yeah, it was cool.
That defense is playing better though. But
yeah,
we'll talk about that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get into Week 13 recap.
Let's do it.
All right, Thanksgiving, we had a slew of games, starting off with the Chicago Bears facing the Detroit Lions. This first half was kind of blah. Uh, what's the name kind of got up on the scoreboard, and then Bears in the second half woke up and pulled a comeback almost, and then late in the fourth quarter, with like only like 40 something seconds left, they was marching down the field, got down to 33 seconds. I know Caleb Williams, he changed the play at the line. I think they ended up getting sacked, and they were scrambling. He was trying to do a hurry up. They had a timeout left. Eberflus didn't call the timeout,
Yeah.
and they end up not getting the playoff, or they end up getting the playoff, but it was over. And the Detroit Lions survived a win and beat the Bears 23-20. Eberflus ends up getting fired the next day off of this. He said he wouldn't have made he would have made the same. He felt like he did the right thing. I personally think he was saying what he told y'all he wanted to say is that he wanted to get fired. He didn't want to be there no more. And that's why he didn't call that damn timeout, because he knew if he kicked that field goal, he's going to survive another week. He's tired of Chicago. He tired of them. He tired of Caleb Williams and all them. So, the Lions, hey man, you win games like that when you know what I'm saying, you got to win games like this. You know what I'm saying, them tough games against division rivalries. Some every game ain't gonna be a blowout. You know what I'm saying? So they survive another game. You know what I'm saying? They had a tough one when they faced Houston Texans this year, when Jared Goff had a bad game, but they survived that one and they survived this one, and they still the best team to me in the NFL. So they won that
Nah,
game.
man. I think with this game, like obviously, I think Caleb Williams has been playing a lot better. Obviously, even
Yes.
he had to go. Maybe this will give them kind of like a revitalization with them as far as like how they start these games, because a lot of these games they start off slow, then they pick up in the mid second to third quarter, and then fourth quarter it looks like they're gonna win it, and then some boneheaded decision gets made to where they lose the game, or like some freakish play has happened. Like they could have easily won their last 3-4 games, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, based off a couple of situations, but it's just the way it happened this year. But I think as far as the Bears fan, it wasn't the year that you guys expected it to be. Obviously, I think this team had a lot of high expectations that I just don't think it was ready for. But overall, I think Caleb looked really good, and I think that should be impressive for him going into finishing off the year and taking that into the next season and having a better year. I'm still a proponent and maybe trading DJ Moore and getting some assets for him. I know, like he has been performing a lot better, but I think personally, just like his mannerisms at the beginning of this year, middle of this year, it wasn't really the best for me as far as like with a rookie quarterback. And I just think it just might be better for them just to get more assets, build more around him, maybe add some more to the old line, or maybe upgrade the running back position with DeAndre Swift. He is getting a little bit older, or maybe some on the defensive line or whatever. But and then obviously receiver, they could always add another receiver in the draft or whatever. I think that would be
right.
With the Lions, man, yeah, it's a win, but sooner or later, man, all these injuries are going to start catching up with them, man. They're just losing bodies on bodies on bodies on bodies, bro. So especially on that defensive side, I think the offensive side has minus a couple of nicks with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think he's dealing with a knee injury. Montgomery, he's been dealing with a shoulder injury and stuff like that. But that on that defensive side, they're just losing so many, man. I think they signed Jamal Adams today or something like that. So, Jamal Adams used to be a Pro Bowl safety, but he, I don't know what are you I don't know what you're expecting from him at this point in stage in his career. Like, so
Right.
hopefully the Lions can start getting maybe a couple of these players back. I don't know how long. Obviously, with Hutchinson, he's out until the Super Bowl supposedly, but maybe some some freakish thing might happen where he might be able to come back a little bit sooner, but I highly doubt that, especially how that break was. But I think that's the biggest thing with the Lions, man. They just got to find a way to stay healthy and maybe get some of these players back. But they gotta clinch this. They gotta clinch quick, but it's kind of hard with the Eagles on their tail. So, and then the Lions got some big games coming up here too.
Probably the worst game of the season. The Giants faced the Cowboys, and they lost. The Cowboys winning 27-20. This game was terrible. I just want to let you know, NFL, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves for making us sit through this game. This game was horrible. Cowboys ended up pulling out in the second half. Tommy DeVito is not good. The team is not good. Cowboys ain't no better. Let's just put it out there.
Yeah.
But they end up winning. Somebody had to win this game, so they won, and that's all I got for this game.
I think we all knew what we was getting out of this game. I think Rico Dowdle, he looked really good with the 22 carries, 112, and a TD. Obviously, we got to see how CD Lamb is. I know he had an injury. He didn't come back in the game, so I wouldn't be surprised if they slowly start shutting him down, not getting him injured. It's not like they're playing for anything. I think more so they should be trying to get a high draft pick, but they're still winning these games. I don't know why, but they are. But look, the New York Giants are going to be a top pick. You know what I mean? I said, Giants fans, get ready for the Carson Beck experience because that's who y'all going to go for. That's a fact.
That's crazy. The Miami Dolphins traveled to Green Bay and lose 30-17. Dolphins still have the same problem. They can't play in cold weather. Packers pretty much just, did whatever they want with them. Miami couldn't get nothing going. And hey, man, Packers get another win, and they got a big game on Thursday.
Yeah, man. Look. I like the Dolphins. They're not running away from those stereotype comments, man. As far as them not being able to win in the cold weather, like that's something that they need to figure out, get over that hurdle. If not, then it's going to be tough. But it was an impressive win by the Packers, man. These are the games that they need to dominate. This is what I was saying for the last couple of weeks. Like, I need to see the Packers play clean games and games that they should be dominating, and they're doing it. So, to me, this is just rising them up the ranks as far as, like, teams you got to consider that have a real strong chance at making a strong playoff run to get to the Super Bowl and be potential Super Bowl champions. So, I've been thoroughly impressed with the Packers these last couple of weeks by what they've been doing. So, shout out to them.
We had the Black Friday game, my Chiefs versus your Raiders. Chiefs win 19-17 on a botch snap at the end. Legal shift to get them out of field goal. And they fumbled the football. Chiefs recovered, ended up winning the game. But this game, the defense was giving up a bunch of yards to Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker. The special teams was terrible on the Chiefs. Y'all getting a whole bunch of yards, getting in good field position, and then the red zone problems is just showing their ugly head again. Our left tackle, Wanye Morris, was making Chason look like TJ Watt out there. He wasn't even doing no crazy moves. He just hand swiping them out the way. And Mahomes got sacked like 5 times. So, same problems, same issues with the Chiefs. I'm at this point with the Chiefs, man. Just win, dog. I don't care how I look now. I don't. Just win. I don't care. Whatever. Good to see Isaiah Checo back and Charles Omenihu back, but whatever.
All right, look, I'm gonna start off with my Raiders real quick. Like, listen here, man. I'm glad that we lost. I was not worried about it at all. A little bit. I was texting you. I was like, man, I know y'all not about to fuck this up for us. At first, I was like, man, the Chiefs trying to do this shit on purpose because they don't want us to get shit door, and they nervous like that shit. You know what I mean? But they came through. I said the only bright spot with this Raiders team right now, minus Max Crosby, which is a given, is Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers is looking like the best talent to come out of this draft right now.
He next Travis Kelce, dog.
Yeah. I think he might be better than Travis Kelce, honestly, me personally, but that's just me. But I'm glad that he's wearing the silver and black. I was thoroughly surprised that he dropped to us where he did in the draft. Amazing pickup. So that's something we gotta look forward to. And then also we got the number one. We're getting close to the number one pick. I think we're at number 2 right now. So yes, sir, we're coming. At the end of the day, with the Chiefs, look, serious question. When are y'all gonna start worrying about how y'all playing? And I get it. People are gonna be like, "Oh, we did this last year and we'll be fine." Da, da, da. But sooner or later, don't y'all gotta be worried that sooner or later your luck is gonna run out in one of these games, especially when it comes to a big time game. Like sooner or later, everything ain't gonna go your way. Everything's not gonna bounce the ball your way. The calls aren't gonna go your way. It's not gonna happen. Like this team has looked very, very unimpressive at the record that they're at. They're kind of like the Vikings for me at this point. It's just that the Chiefs have more of a historical background as far as like we've seen them win championships. The Vikings have not, but in reality, both of these teams are not playing good at this particular time. And usually this is the time when the Chiefs start ramping it up and playing better. We're getting in December. So I'm curious to see, y'all got a big game coming up against the Chargers next week, right? I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very
man, look. DJ Humphries, we just need you to be solid. Just be competent at the left tackle position. At this point, just be competent. You know what I'm saying? That's all I ask. And I think Andy Reid should get arrested for coaching malpractice on Friday. Just 77% passes, and you see your left tackle getting his ass kicked. There should be no reason why you shouldn't have been giving the ball to Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco more. Now, I did like what I saw with Charles Omenihu back in the defensive lineup. Yeah. That's why Chris Jones is starting to get going and get a couple sacks because we got Omenihu back and we're able to be a little bit more flexible. I would like them. You did trade for Joshua Uche. I would like you guys to use him a little bit more, but that's not what's saying. Shout out to Najee Johnson, man. It's over, dog. Joshua Williams, you're going to have to be the number 2, man. He's out there.
Listen here. Listen here. Isaiah Pacheco, like it was his first game back off of a broken leg or whatever. So like, he gonna slow his way into it. Rumors are that Marquise Brown may be back in the next couple weeks. Look, there's no excuses for y'all. Y'all getting healthy at the right time. And if y'all look, there's no excuses. Like y'all got to start dominating these games because if not, man, something's gonna happen, man. Something's gonna happen. And I'm gonna be here smiling.
I know you are.
Season like a mother, you know what I mean? So now we'll see.
Yeah, crazy. All right, man. Let's talk about Sunday, man. Chargers beat the Falcons 17-13. Kirk Cousins is old. He looks old. This Atlanta Falcon team is not. They don't even think they're a playoff team. But somebody's got to win this division. It's gonna be down to them and Tampa Bay. And neither one of them look impressive. Chargers, Chargers are who they are. And I think if they had J.K. Dobbins, I think this game would have been a little bit different. But they didn't have that. They didn't have J.K. Dobbins in this game. And they did enough to win. The defense got a couple turnovers, and they did enough to win the game. And that's all you could ask for with the Chargers right now. So it is what it is.
No, it was an impressive win. It was a hardball win, style win. Obviously, McConkey, he's looking amazing out there. He had a knee injury, so hopefully it's not too serious. He'll be okay. But look, man, the thing with the Chargers, they're starting to get a little dinged up right now. J.K. Dobbins is a little dinged up. I think I don't know if Khalil Mack played yesterday. I know he's been out for a little bit, but I think he might play. Look, man, this team is going to be good, man. They're not going to beat themselves. This is not the Chargers teams of the old days. They're not beating themselves. So that's one thing you got to look for the Chargers. So I'm very interested in your guys' game next week. I think it was Sunday night, Monday night.
Sunday night.
Sunday night, so it should be interesting. But as far as the Falcons, though, they're cooked. Cousins is terrible. I think it's about time they start asking when is it time to put in Penix, because some of these interceptions that Kirk Cousins is throwing are atrocious. Like they're like worse than Will Levis interceptions. Like it's that bad, and you could just tell he can't move anymore. Like Kirk Cousins, he was really well known for being able to maneuver in and out of the pocket. He had the legs to do it, but ever since, obviously with the Achilles injury, it's not the same. At least this year, he might be able to improve next year, but history tells us it won't get much better, especially with his age climbing. So, yeah, man, it's not looking good for the Falcons, man. It's not looking good. Brian Robinson had a good game too, and they still can't find a way to get Kyle Pitts the ball. It's insane.
Yeah, for real. The Steelers beat the Bengals 44-38. This was all offense. Russell Wilson probably had his best game in years. Had well over 400 yards, a couple touchdowns, and the Bengals it's the same story. Their offense can score, but their defense can't stop nobody. And then Joe Burrow, if he turns the football over, that's not good either.
Hmm.
you know, he Burrows has to be perfect.
Yeah.
He cannot have a slippage. You can't fumble the football. You can't throw no interceptions because if you do, you lose. And this is what happens in this game. So, shout out to the Steelers though. This is probably their best offensive performance. Now I know it's the Bengals defense and they're bad. They're probably the worst in the league, but
Hmm.
still, Steelers look good. Good bounce back from losing to the Browns. And yeah, man, Bengals, it's over, man. Just go ahead and get ready for Cancun.
Yeah, honestly, Bengals right now at this point, like, offensively they look amazing. So at this point, the Bengals are just playing for pride right now. Maybe be spoilers to other teams. Um, I'm sure if they're all healthy, they're all going to continue to play. But at
Right.
the end of the day, we this got to start enjoying these T Higgins Jamar Chase combos because we ain't gonna see it too much longer, man. T Higgins about to get the bag somewhere else. So, and then I'll be very curious to see what they do in the offseason with this team. Obviously, they need to focus on the defensive side, but
Yeah.
at the same time, that O line is still terrible. Like
Mhm.
Joe Burrow's still fighting for his life. So, but look, with the Steelers, man, look, it was an impressive win. This is the most explosive that we've seen the Steelers be in a long, long time, probably since the Ben
Mhm.
Roethlisberger days. So,
Right.
um, it's a very formidable team. Now, obviously, like how much stock can we put into this performance with how bad we know the Cincinnati Bengals defense is?
Right.
We got to see. You know what I mean? I think I was overhearing Dave Arlovsky kind of saying like a lot of the big plays came from dinks and dunks. You had a couple with Pickens with the deep ball, which we all know Russell Wilson is good at, but a lot of the yards came from after the catch, throwing like 10 yards or less. So,
Mhm.
um, what I mean, Steelers are always going to be formidable. TJ Watt with another masterful performance, man. He looked amazing out there, man. He's a beast. He's easily probably going to be defensive player of the year again. So, shout out to him, man. It's going to be a scary team. If they can stay healthy, TJ Watt can stay healthy, they're going to be in every game. So,
Mhm. I agree. The Vikings beat the Cardinals 23-22. This was kind of a slugfest a little bit. Kyler Murray, man, he threw one ball up in there. He was about
yeah,
to
that
get
was bad.
mauled.
That was a bad
He
ball.
just
That was
threw
a bad
he
ball.
threw it up, and it was just like, man, what are you doing, Kyler? But the Vikings end up pulling it out and winning 23-22. And the Vikings just keep racking up wins. I know they haven't looked impressive, but they racking up wins though. That's all that
Mhm.
matters.
Yeah, nah, for real. Like, it was a disappointing loss by the Cardinals, man. I think they should have
Mhm.
easily won this game. The Vikings are another team where record-wise, they look like they're being very dominant with 10-2. But the way they've been playing, it's just like, man, like they just don't look good. But hey, maybe this is the year where it just bounces their way.
Mhm.
But that's something to look for in the playoffs, where it's just like I wouldn't be surprised. They were like they won like 12, 13 games, and they ended up getting bounced
In
the
the
first
first
game of
round.
the playoffs. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just kind of the way it's playing. But with Justin Jefferson, Addison, I love Hawkinson as a tight end. I think he's one of the better tight ends. It's just unique consistency play from the quarterback position, and it's not like Sam Darnold's throwing like bad interceptions or anything. I don't know. It's just something about this team, and it's like their defense is actually playing pretty good. I don't know. It's just
Mhm.
something about this team that just doesn't overly excite me, especially with how the Eagles are playing, the Detroit Lions
Mhm.
are playing, the Packers
Mhm.
are playing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hell, I even think the Panthers have been playing better, just eye test wise, than what the Minnesota Vikings have been doing. Obviously, the
Yeah.
Panthers have been winning, but we'll get to that here in a little bit. But I don't know. We'll see with it. But at the end of the day, to me, it was more of a disappointing loss for the Cardinals. I think they should have won this game.
Yeah. The Colts beat the Patriots 25-24. This was a back and forth. Drake May and Anthony Richardson. But at the end, the Colts had the ball at the last minute. They took it down the field. Anthony Richards runs it in for the win, and they beat the Patriots 25-24.
Yeah. Um. Look, man. Look, Drake May. We all know he's the future of that team. We love the defense. We love the young players that they do have. They just need to add some more pieces. We talked about it earlier with the hot seat with their coach with Gerard Mayo. I know a lot of Patriots fans are not liking what they're seeing, but I think they should be patient with him. Colts, look, they're finally unleashing Anthony Richardson. What he does best is running the ball, playing off of play action.
Yeah.
I think that's what they should have been doing the whole time. Stop trying to turn him into Peyton Manning and all that. Turn him into what he needs to do, and then slowly start building him up to where the point where he can be able to, you know, change plays and all that. But for right now, give him something where he can just know where he knows what to do. Either play action, throw the ball here, throw the ball there, or throw it away. Just make it easy for him, make it more scripted for him, and have the opportunities to be able to roll out and run the ball. That's what success is with this team currently right now.
Yeah, for sure. The Seattle Seahawks beat the Jets 26-21. The Jets got up early, things was looking good, and then the whole avalanche fell on them. Aaron Rodgers, he missed Garrett Wilson wide open in the end zone. And then in the play after that, those are egregious pick six.
Yeah.
That was bad. And Seattle just capitalized. Their defense was all over them. Aaron Rodgers, the pocket, they couldn't block. I know Tyron Smith is out. They missed, I think Morgan Moses got hurt. So the offensive line was beat up. Mm-hmm. And Aaron Rodgers didn't, in the second half, they just didn't look like the same team in the first half. Yeah. So, and Seattle, this is a good win for them. You know what I'm saying? They're going into next week. They got a big game against Arizona. So they have a chance to win this division. They're on top of the division right now, and they still have a chance to win this division. So we'll see.
Look, man, Seahawks, obviously, with the Cardinals loss, and, it helps them in that light as far as giving them a little bit of space, but it's still going to be tight at the end of the day. Yeah. It was a great comeback win for the Seahawks. You kind of saw just kind of the maturity of that team a little bit. It was a great showing. So, and with the Jets, look, I'm happy. It just makes our third round pick even better at this point. I don't feel sorry for this team. At the end of the day, this team is terrible. Aaron Rodgers, you kind of saw the glimpses of what he used to be like in the first half, and then second half, you get the reality of what he really is right now. So, at the end of the day, Jets fans, y'all asked for this, own it, wear it, and show it with pride, man. Jets, Jets.
The Washington Commanders put the beats on the Titans, 42-19. This game wasn't close from the jump. They couldn't do nothing on the Titans couldn't do nothing on offense. They couldn't do nothing on defense.
He was terrible. Oh my God, my brother had 3. He dropped the ball 3 times.
Yeah, it was.
What's his name? I feel bad for him, but I was like, bro, like, come on, man. That was.
I forgot his name, but yeah,
28-0 or something. Close to 20.
Commanders just put it on, and hey, this is helping Jaden Daniels' case for offensive rookie of the year. They got 2 back-to-back wins, right? They won last week, right? So, right. Yeah, they're getting back on track, and they're looking like they're gonna make the playoffs, man. They got the New Orleans Saints next, and that's probably a win right there too. So, but shout out to the Commanders, man. Dominant performance.
Yeah, no, man. Like, obviously, the toughest game that they do have left is probably the Eagles game. I'm very curious to see, and it wasn't like they got blown out. It was a pretty tight game. You know what I mean? So I think they held their own for the most part. Look, man, this team has so much explosion about them. I think if they're clicking, I think they're hard to beat. Obviously, you know what I mean? If they get the lead early, I think the Commanders would be a tough out. Playing from behind, I think it's a little bit tougher for them. I think if they have the lead, I think their defensive line is able to fly to the quarterback a little bit better. I think they just play better with a lead. I don't know if this team is built to come from behind. Obviously, offensive wise, they can, but I feel like they always struggle a little bit when they're playing from behind. But overall, man, this puts Jaden Daniels. I still think he's easily the rookie of the year for this class, even though I think Brock Bowers has given him a run for his money as far as on the offensive side. But man, this Commanders team looks like they have a strong chance to make the playoffs, man. It just depends on what seeding they can get. Obviously with the Eagles, and I think they got the Falcons and a couple other teams that I don't think they should be too worried about. But I think they have a strong shot. If they can get to 10 wins, I think they make it.
Yeah, for sure. The Texans beat the Jacksonville Jaguars 23-20. The story of this game obviously is the Trevor Lawrence hit from Algier Shahir. It was a dirty hit. He gave himself up. Dude came in with the forearm, knocked him out of the game. Mac Jones had to come in. He had a decent game. Um,
Yeah,
but it just the Texans is just like they won, but it's just like they just
not pretty. Yeah,
it's not it's not what we thought they was going to be this year. And I know they suffered the Stephon Diggs injury, but they got Nico Collins back, and Nico had a good game. He didn't have no
really
touchdowns,
good.
but he still had a good game. And Mixon has been a godsend for them as far as the running game goes. But it's just I don't know. It's just something about this team. It's just they don't have that you know what I'm saying? We're not. You don't feel good about their wins. It's just like all right, they won, but it's just like something missing. You know.
Yeah, no, I feel like there's a couple teams we've discussed that. We can say that with the Chiefs. We can say that
Yeah.
with some of the other teams like the Vikings and all that. Like they're winning these games, but it's just something that's just missing. You know what I mean? And I think with this team, I think it's more so with the offensive line. I think they do have big major problems with the offensive line, especially with the pass blocking. I think they're
Mhm.
decent with the run block because Joe Mixon does get holes. Like we do
Yeah.
see holes on the running side, but for some reason when they're back in shotgun or just pass blocking in general, it's just not good at all. Like I
It
don't know
just
what
seems
it is.
like it just
Yeah,
seems like CJ always has to like roll
yeah,
out,
yeah.
come
You know what
out.
I mean? Yeah. So and then it's just like you know what I mean? Then it causes a chain reaction with him when it's just like, all right, maybe he's leaving the pocket before he really needs to. Then he just runs into a sack, or you know what I mean, or he's holding on to the ball a little bit too long because he's trying to make a play because they're down. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and then it's just like we do see the explosion with this offense, but not consistently like we were seeing. Like Nico Collins still is amazing. Like I think he's definitely like top two, top three receivers in the league right now. He's killing it. But even like with Tank Dell, with Stephon Diggs out, like we don't see big Tank Dell games.
Mhm.
So he had a decent game yesterday and all that, but and actually this defense hasn't played bad. Like you know what I mean,
Mhm.
it's not like it's giving up like 30 points or close to
No,
30
it's not.
points. They've actually played decent. You know what I mean? They were
Mhm.
able to get Will Anderson back. Will Anderson is a big key to that defense. So I don't know. Maybe they'll find a way to click it, or maybe they can shore up the play calling where it can pass protect. Um, CJ Stroud a little bit more. Maybe they got to keep Joe Mixon in the backfield a little bit longer. I know he's a great asset for the passing game, but they're gonna have to figure something out. Like they're 8-5, so obviously we all think they're gonna make the playoffs, but it could be a struggle. You know what I mean? Once they get in there, but hopefully they can figure it out.
Yeah, for
And with the
sure.
Jags, look, it was a bad look. That was a bad look with Shahir, man. Like, look, man,
Yeah.
I get it. It's instinctive, split play. So I'm not gonna kill him too much, but the forearm head into the head, that's not a good look. You're gonna get
Mhm.
suspended, my brother. At the end of the day, and then obviously, you fighting back isn't really a good look either. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I don't know if he
No,
has a track record like this. We do have to
I don't
acknowledge
think
he
so.
did do a public apology on his Instagram, I believe, or his Twitter. So he did
Mhm.
acknowledge it. He did, apologize to Trevor Lawrence. His ultimate goal is not to, hurt anybody and, not, be able to feed their families by taking them out the game. But, it's just a bad look. He gonna have to take the L. I think he probably get one game. I don't see him getting more than one game, but if he got two, I wouldn't be surprised either. But I think he'll get his one game. He'll get a big fine, and then just call it a wrap. So big loss for the Texans for the next game. Can't have him out.
Yeah, for sure. The Rams beat the Saints 21-14. Rams were kind of, slow coming out the gate. Didn't really couldn't get nothing going. But then in the second half they picked it up. Matthew Stafford probably had he had a really good second half. And
Mhm.
they end up pulling it out at the end and get going up 21-14 and keeping the lead, and they won the game. So that's all you can ask for with the Rams right now. They're still in there with the NFC West. As far as the Saints go, we all know this is a lost season for the Saints. They just they trying to get draft position to get a decent player. So
Yeah. Nah, I feel you. Like definitely like at the end of the day, like um with the Rams, like it's another team where you expect better from them. Like Kyron Williams hasn't really ran the ball well. When you see him, like
yeah,
I think he's still a really good running back. For some reason, he isn't getting any explosive plays like he used to. He used to be a
yeah,
touchdown machine like last year, but I don't know how many
yeah.
touchdowns he has this year. But I think that's something that they have to fix if they want to have an opportunity to make the playoffs. It was a big win. They needed the win to kind of maintain it, especially with the Seahawks win and the Cardinals loss, get them back into it. But they're gonna have to string it. I think this December is gonna be huge, man. I think they can only afford to maybe lose one game.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
for sure.
They're gonna have to win a lot of these games this month.
Yeah, and they got a tough one coming up with Buffalo. So
Yeah, they have to win that one.
yeah. The Buccaneers. This game broke my heart. The Buccaneers beat the Panthers 26-23 in overtime. The Panthers stuck stride for stride with them. Baker Mayfield, he didn't have his best game. Bryce Young pretty much outplayed him in this game. I know that the field goal kicker for the Panthers, he missed a couple kicks that probably would have been the difference in this game. They would have won the game if he had kicked either one of those kicks. But they got down to overtime. McLaughlin for the kicker for the Buccaneers, he missed the first kick. Panthers get the ball back, and Adam Thielen makes one of the probably the best catches in the season with the one-hander on the sideline. They're in field goal range pretty much. They give it to Chuba Herbert. He fumbles the football. And you just kind of knew then. You could just see it on their faces. And Rashad White gets a big run. Well, actually, Mike Evans gets a big catch. Then Rashad White gets a big run. They get to the middle of the field, kick the game-winning field goal. Tampa Bay wins. I know one of the players almost got into a fight with Tampa Bay, with some of the Tampa Bay players after the game. It's emotional. I get it, man. But I feel bad, man, because I predicted that, they was going to bring that energy that they got from the Chiefs game into this game, and they did that. You see Bryce Young, he's more comfortable. He looks like he's more confident. When he throws the football now, he's standing in the pocket, making the throws that we thought he could make coming from Alabama. We saw it, and he's played in a lot of big games in Alabama, so he knows about winning. It's just putting the pieces around him, and hopefully Carolina doesn't give up on him, and they see that this kid wants to fight. You see the team rallying around him. But I know this was a tough loss, but hopefully they could take this energy into the next game, and they don't flatten out after this. Hopefully they take it and try to get some more wins after this. So
yeah, look, man, it was
Bucks, before you go, let me touch on the Bucks. They ain't looking great at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we all know their defense ain't that good, but whoever wins this division out of them in Atlanta, they're going to be a first-round knockout. So,
look, with the Bucks, man, it was a great showing from Bucky Irvin, man. He looked amazing. Yeah. He turned into one of the top running backs in the league. Good to see Mike Evans out there. That connection with him and Baker Mayfield was great. But let's call a spade a spade. This Panthers team has literally outplayed the Chiefs and the Bucks, man. They were the better team. They just couldn't get the wins. Bryce Young has looked amazing. It looks like he's coming into his own. He's gaining that confidence back. You could tell it seems like he's having more control over this offense. Like, I think his mental reps, and I think him sitting on the sideline kind of helped him get, remotivated. I know it was starting to eat at him a little bit as far as like all the bad plays that were happening, just kind of added on and on and on, and it could have gotten into his head. So maybe him sitting down those couple games might have helped reset his mentals. And right now, he's looking like a real confident quarterback right now. At this point in time, like, he's looking like the best quarterback in that division right now. So, you know what I mean? Even with Baker Mayfield, and I think Baker Mayfield has played pretty good. But at the end of the day, this is a young team. I think any Panthers fans should be headed into next season with some positives for sure. I'm curious to see if Adam Thielen will stay, especially with the play of what Bryce Young has been showing. I don't think he would mind it at this point. And then obviously you get Brooks back. Him coming off his injury. He's only going to get better with more reps and all that. And then next year with a full training camp, he should get it. Chuba Hubbard sign in, so that'll be a great 1-2 punch. Xavier Leggett having another year. So look, man, this Panthers team can easily be competing for the division next year. You know what I mean? If everything goes right in the draft, free agency, this makes them a more attractive destination. Obviously, you still got to deal with the owner. A lot of people aren't too too much of a big fans of them, but Bryce Young can cover all those issues, man, with if he continues to play like this. So I'm really happy for Bryce Young and this Panthers team. They're going to be a scary team this last month of the season. They can give you some losses that you didn't expect to get. You know what I mean? That could affect either your seeding or your possible chances of even making the playoffs, especially in this division and how tight it is.
Yeah, for sure. The Eagles beat the Ravens 24-19. This game was, back and forth for the most part. But Saquon breaking that big run to get into the end zone broke this game open. The defense for the Eagles pretty much kept the Ravens' offense in check. And they end up pulling out the victory in this game. And Justin Tucker is cooked. It's over, people. Go ahead and get your last look at Justin Tucker because it might be it's the end.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
And the Eagles are looking like a formidable team in the NFC for sure.
Look, the Ravens got problems, man. They're in the wild card right now. They could potentially not make the playoffs at this route. You know what I mean? This is not what we expected from them. Like Lamar Jackson looked like he was about to get his third MVP to now being out of it completely. Derrick Henry looks like he's starting to slow down a little bit. Deontay Johnson's not getting on the field. You traded for him, but you're not playing him. That makes no sense. Zay Flowers, he has his great games, and then you see the frustrations on him with Lamar Jackson not throwing it his way, so that's causing some issues. This defense is having its problems with covering. It's not looking good for the Ravens right now at all. It seems like the Steelers have this division on lock. You know what I mean? So at this point, the Ravens got to compete for one of these wild card spots, and you know what I mean, that's not going to be good for them. They need to try to get some kind of home field advantage, at least the first game. So, and as far as the Eagles, man, they're a dominant team, man. At this particular time, especially with all the injuries with the Lions, man, you would have to think they might start being the favorites in the NFC. It's hard to say, especially with the Lions and how they've been playing, but the Lions are one loss away from not being in home field advantage and getting that number 2 seat. So, and the Eagles are right behind, and I think they're getting healthier as the Lions keep getting hurt. So I think that's a scary thing. Saquon Barkley, I think Eagles fans need to just go ahead and build a statue for him at this particular time. That's the offensive talent y'all have had since probably Terrell Owens, I think. So Saquon Barkley.
If he breaks that Eric Dickerson record, you need to give him the MVP. I love Josh Allen, but they need to give him the MVP.
I think it's 1-2. I think it's 1A, 1B. I think right now with Josh Allen, the way he's playing, he's definitely probably the leader, but I don't think it should be by that much. I think Saquon Barkley has been godsend for the team. You know, he's been kind of the change in how the play calling's been. It's helped Jalen Hurts a lot. It's opened up AJ Brown, and obviously they didn't even have Devontae Smith yesterday, so they're going to get him back. So that's only going to make them stronger. Jalen Carter, again, I say this every week. I get mad every time I see him on my screen because he should be a Las Vegas Raider. He should be a Las Vegas Raider, but the Raiders decided to do some dumb shit, go after Wilson with a bum foot, and not going after Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter was a steal. Cooper DeJean was a steal. Quentin Mitchell was a steal. Like, the Eagles just keep getting, like, they hit on everything as far as the draft. Like, Quentin Mitchell might turn out to be the best cornerback in the league here in the next couple of years. And that's saying a lot because there's a lot of great cornerbacks, but Quentin Mitchell is locking up, strapped up. Like, Cooper DeJean is looking amazing. He's an athletic safety cornerback, used to play ball. Like, he can do it all. We saw what he did with Derrick Henry in that tackle. And Jalen Carter, my God, he's turning into one of the best defensive players in the league, man. Everywhere you see on that screen, Jalen Carter is making a play. And that's not cool. Got AJ Brown. You got Jalen Hurts with those legs. Like, Saquon Barkley, like, this team is going to be scary to play. And look, tip your hat off to the coach, man. All that shit we talking, he might turn into the year right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Eagles fans gotta shut up. Hey, if he talks shit right now, I can't be mad at him, bro. If he turn around,
be mad at brother. Talk your shit, brother. Talk your shit,
Nick Sirianni. Because at this point, he's competing for Coach of the Year right now with him and I would say probably the Bills coach.
Yeah, for sure.
And the Lions coach too.
Yeah. Speaking of the Bills put the beats on the 49ers 35-10 in the snow blizzard. We all know how this game was going to go. I'm sorry. Once they said it was snow, it was over for the 49ers. You know how it is when West Coast teams travel to cold weather teams. They ain't ready for all that, man. And they
Yeah,
choked. And it's just the Buffalo Bills just look like, they just look like they was just out there clowning. They was just having fun. Threw a pass to was it Khalil Shakur? Or no, AJ Coop. Coop caught a pass with
and
three or
then he
four defenders, and then he tosses it uh,
Allen.
to Josh Allen, and he runs in for the end zone. Like that's how that game went, and it was just
Yeah.
fumbles and just it was all bad for 49ers. I kind of feel for the Niners. I feel some of the 49er fans out there. They ready to fire Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
But hey, man, the Buffalo Bills are the best team in the AFC right now.
Nah, yeah, I think with the McCaffrey injury, I think it hurt the Niners a lot. I think
Yeah.
if McCaffrey was still healthy, I think this game would have been a lot closer. He looked like the old McCaffrey. It
Mhm.
kind of sucks that he hurt his knee. I think they just announced that he's going to be on injured reserve, so I think he's
Yeah,
out for the rest of
6
the year.
weeks. That's it.
So it sucks, man. At least it wasn't his Achilles. At first, I thought it was Achilles. I was like, that's really not good. But a PCL sprain or whatever, where he's out for 6 weeks. At least it wasn't his Achilles. So that's the blessing in disguise with that injury. But look, man, it's just not going the Niners' way. Again, prayers out to Trent Williams. I think they just announced that they lost their son. So I mean, him, Ward. He went through a situation with one of his kids. The injuries, like it's just not their year. And I get it, the frustrations with Kyle Shanahan and not being able to accomplish winning that Super Bowl last year did hurt a lot of San Francisco Niner fans with all that expectation and all the great years that they had. But look, man, it's just a bad year, man. It's just not their year. Everything is just not going their way. So they got a lot of questions to answer this offseason. As far as the Bills, man, dominant performance, great game. Just shows the dominance of what they are. And look, they didn't even have Keon Coleman out there. You know what I mean? So they're only going to get better. I love Khalil Shakir. I think they're still waiting on Kincaid to come back, so that's only going to get them stronger. James Cook look amazing out there running in the snow. So look, man, got shout out to the Bills, man. They're definitely competing as being one of the best teams in all of football, not just AFC.
Yeah, for sure. And that's a wrap. Who's your best team and best player?
So best team, best player. So best player, I went with TJ Watt, man. TJ Watt was amazing on the defensive side for the Pittsburgh Steelers, so I had to give it to him. And then best team, I went with the Philadelphia Eagles, man. I think it's very impressive what they did going into Baltimore and being as dominant as they were against that team. So I gave it to those.
Best player, I'm going to roll with Russell Wilson. He had an amazing performance this week. And best team, I'm gonna go with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Uh, worst player, worst team.
I think it's easy. Kirk Cousins was terrible. Those 4 interceptions is bad. You don't really see that too much. And then I gotta coincide with the Falcons. It was just a bad performance all around from that team. It's not looking good over there for Raheem Morris. I don't think he's gonna get fired or anything like that, but it's not looking good. I think they need to start talking about when Penix is gonna start coming in.
Yeah, this is easy for me. Worst player, Will Levis. Worst team, Titans.
You do this every week. It's always Will Levis Titans.
Goddamn right.
Why do you hate him so much?
He's trash. That's why.
Oh, they just announced a new card for.
Yeah, I was just about to talk about that, man. Jumping the gun, man.
My bad, player.
I'm just playing. But let's talk about it, man. They just announced this boxing card, man. How you feeling? You like it?
Looking at the card, I'm just seeing this for the first time.
You got the Bibble and Better rematch. That's the
Yeah,
main event, February 22nd on Rider season. Shout out to the Excellency. You know what I'm saying? He always putting these cards on. Then you got Daniel Duy versus Joshua Parker. You got Shakur Stevenson versus Floyd Schofield. Carlos Ames. I don't know how to say it. Azim Shazaz.
Shiraz.
Yeah. And then you got Virgil Ortiz Jr. We'll talk about that in a minute. Against Israel Mazardrov and Joshua. What's that?
Joshua Bosi versus Caleb Smith, and then I see
Zhang.
Zhang versus
Zhang versus
Ike
Kaylee.
Abaya.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So how you feeling, man? How you feel about this card?
Shakur Stevenson, I'm not really a fan of that fight. Like, it is what it is. Like obviously we need to see Shakur Stevenson be very dominant in this fight, especially off these performances. He's been out of the ring for a minute, so that'll be my main thing watching that fight. It wouldn't be so much to see like the excitement for the fight, but just how dominant can he be? We need to show him for Shakur Stevenson. Like, this is a big fight for him to kind of change the perception of him. Obviously, better be the Bivol. I, am I excited to see the rematch? The first fight was like okay. I'm not gonna say it was like to the point where it's like I needed to see it again, but I understand why we're getting the rematch. Some people had Bivol winning that fight, so I get it. But was it the most exciting fight? Nah, if you're not into the precision of everything, then nah. But I think overall it'll be a good fight. Danny Dubois versus Joseph Parker. I think that could be an interesting fight. You know what I mean?
Somebody's getting knocked out.
Somebody's gonna get knocked out that fight. Virgil Ortiz versus Israel Madrimov. Obviously, we all got to see how Virgil Ortiz is. You know what I mean? Am I excited about the fight? I don't know. We'll see. Like a lot of these fights could surprise us, but overall with the card, I'm okay with it. It's cool.
In Monster Drive, he did have a decent showing against Terrence Crawford,
He
so
did. So
it'll be an interesting fight. Now, as far as the Virgil Ortiz, we all got the reports that he was supposed to fight Boots. Boots and them
yeah,
was trying to
I
get
remember
they said the word was he was trying to get it at 147. We all know Virgil Ortiz has moved up to 154, so they didn't accept the fight. Boots says that they gave him like 48 hours to you know make a decision, and he wanted to sit back and really think about, does he want to move up to 154, or does he want to defend his belt at 147? So what are your thoughts on that?
It just sucks, man. Look, it's just another result of boxing. With not making the fights that could potentially be good for the sport. But it's. I'm not surprised anymore. No, man. Me and you, we've been so involved in this boxing and watching this sport. It's one of the curses of it. You know what I mean? So we learn to live with it. It just sucks, but hopefully one day they can resolve that out of boxing and give us the fights that they want and kind of do it like UFC, um, and be better at that. But I don't know. I don't know. It just is what it is.
Yeah. Look, it's like, I don't know all the behind the scenes workings and interminglings. You know what I'm saying? If Boot says that they try to give him an ultimatum at 48 hours, you gotta make a decision. You moving up or you staying there with your hat? I can get like, hey, I gotta make the best decision for my career, and I can't
Yeah.
make that in 48 hours. So now they did say that they have been negotiating this fight for a while, so maybe that makes him look a little worse. I know a lot of people are saying Boots ducked Virgil Ortiz, so we'll see. And according to Eddie Hearns, the fight's still gonna happen. It just might happen later on this year, so we'll see on that. Um, better be even Bivol. Um, I think Bivol's gonna win the rematch. Personally, I think he knows what he needs to do. He can't tail off in the back end of the fight. you know, he's gonna have to can stay consistent and be on Better V, because Better V started getting going in the late rounds, and that's what won him the fight essentially. So,
Mhm.
like I said, Dubois and Parker, somebody's getting knocked out. I think Parker gets knocked out. As far as Shakur Stevens and Floyd Schofield, look, Schofield. I know a lot of people don't know who Schofield. If you're not a avid boxing fan, you don't know who Schofield is. Schofield is a really good fighter. He's sparred with Tanks, Shakur, and all them before. So they all know each other. So this ain't gonna be no easy fight for Shakur at all. So this is another dude that can match him speed for speed. So we're gonna see how Shakur looks against somebody who's around the same age as him, who's got the same record skills. We're gonna see how great you are, Shakur. You don't look good in this. Even if you win, you could lose. And I know that
He has to
sounds
be. He
crazy.
has to be dominant, man. He has to. He has to put on a show. He can't be boring. He can't be dominant and boring. You know what I mean? He can't just be like, he won every round, but it's the yawn
Yeah.
fest. Like, he got to go out there and put on the show. Like, he has to show that he's pay per view worthy. You know what I mean?
So yeah. But yeah, Zhang, he'll probably knock out this dude that he's fighting. Zhang, you ducking old boy though. I know you ducking
Oh,
the
the African
African
dude.
dude. Yeah, you ducking him. You
Yeah.
ain't want that fight.
He called him out. Didn't he call him out right after he won this fight?
Who?
Zang, didn't he call him out?
No, they already offered that fight. He said no. I don't
Uh,
want to fight with Cole. I bet you don't.
Money will talk. If he wins this fight, I can see them. His
Let
Excellency will
him.
make it happen.
Oh, did you see the purse splits for Tyson and Usyk?
No, I didn't see.
Usyk is making 100 and some million, and Tyson's making 76. Shout out to the Excellency, man. He keep paying that money.
Damn, that's what's up. I fight in a couple weeks, ain't it?
Hmm.
I'm excited to watch
Making
that
that
fight.
moolah.
It's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be good. I got Usyk.
That's well deserved. He's a champ. He deserved a bigger cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
of
only
course.
fair. It's only but fair. I know Tyson Fury's probably the bigger name, but
Yeah,
he deserves it.
he ain't tripping. 76 million. I'll take that.
Nah, yeah, I'll take that shit too. Hey, yeah, your excellency, y'all, you need a personal podcast. Holla at us, dog. Holla. At us. We'll be
We play
strictly boxing,
undisputed. We play undisputed.
bro. We will go strictly boxing just for you, my brother. We'll talk about anything. Tigers, boxing. I don't care. We'll talk about it all.
All right, man. Who gets your flowers of the week, man?
Flowers. I gave it to Casanat, man. I thought it was dope what he did with his Mafia Thon and stuff like that. It seems like we finally got one person right who we made famous. It looks like as a community, man. He's been doing good things, man. So I watched a couple of his stuff. I watched a little bit of the Kevin Hart Drewski thing,
Oh
man.
man, that was
That shit was
hilarious.
hilarious, man. That shit was hilarious, bro. I know people are giving Drewski shit for talking shit to the fat kid and, and then throwing the drummer set. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, it was a great watch, man. So he's been doing great things. Congratulations to him. I think he's the first streamer to get 700,000 subscribers, man. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a great thing, man. So shout out to Kai, man. Great month of what you did, brother. And I know you're donating some to a school you're building out in Nigeria, I believe. So I
Mm-hmm.
want to give him his flowers, man. For a young man, it seems like he definitely has his mind on straight, man. It was cool to see Kyrie Irving. He had Kyrie Irving on there.
Yeah.
He had Glorilla on there. He had Sexy Red. Who else he had on there? He had quite a few people on there, man. So
Yeah.
it just shows the impact and gravity that he has on the older generation and the younger generation and his generation, man. He has it in all aspects. Like he's not oblivious to anything of that, and he's just taking the streaming thing to the next realm. So he is the LeBron or Michael Jackson or whoever you put at highest category in the streaming world. He's number one, man. And
Yeah.
congratulations to him. It's good to see a young brother out there doing great things, though, man. There's a lot of negativity going on, especially in our community, man. And he's one of the bright lights, especially in the celebrity world. So congratulations to him. And, man, can't wait to see more.
Yeah, that Kevin, Thug Miles scene. He said, "You first crazy go to sleep. I'm taking their cheeks." He was like, "Oh, wait a minute, what are you talking about here?
Nah, that shit was funny as shit last week. That shit was hilarious.
We need a Kevin Hart Drewski show."
I think it's coming. I think you're going to get a movie. I think they're doing a movie together.
I don't want to see a movie because it's too scripted. I want them uncut, unfiltered. Just give me a show. I don't need no movie.
They might do
But
it.
yeah. My flowers is going to Mr. Andrew Luck. He is now the GM of Stanford now. Shout out to him. He's going back to his alma mater to be the GM. So he's going to probably try to get some kids to come to play for Stanford. And man, that's a good look for him. Glad to see Andrew Luck back in football. You know what I'm saying? I know his career didn't go the way that people thought. He had the untimely retirement, which, that's the coach's fault. But shout out to Andrew Luck seeing him back in football, man, in some way, in some capacity.
No, for sure.
All right, man. Who's your hell no go to?
So my hell nod goes to John Fisher, the owner of the A's, man. Obviously you kind of read the news about the inflation on the stadium. I think it went up to almost 2 billion now. Been a lot of issues. Obviously, there's a whole backstory with John Fisher. A lot of Oakland natives can be a testament to that and how terrible of an owner he is. But look, man, the way he's been handling this whole situation, this whole move to Vegas with his team has been pretty embarrassing, I would say the least. Not having the financial backing, people been waiting to see when the stadium is going to get built. Imploded Tropicana, nothing's been going on. It just seems like it's more and more unlikely that the A's are going to move out here, and just kind of the whole situation that's been handled has been kind of bad. So he gonna get my hell nah. Until he starts resolving this issue or finding a new resolution and moving his team to somewhere else, because I know they're going to start playing in Sacramento, and some people's prediction is they're going to stay in Sacramento. So we'll see. But he gets my hell now just with the whole situation.
Yeah, for sure, man. My hell no goes to all you people out there who are caping for Mr. Aubrey Drake Grant with this lawsuit. All you people out there talking about he's doing this for the betterment of the people. He's standing firm for the rights of art. Man, I ain't trying to hear none of that. Drake is doing this for Drake because he lost. He got beat. He's looking bad out here. He needs to just go away. Just go away, Drake. Get out of
Do
the
you
public eye, man.
do you believe when Mon said he was going to perform at the World Cup?
Who?
Maul, Rory and Maul.
What'd he say?
He said he's going to perform at the World Cup in 2026. They're going to have a halftime show.
Drake is gonna perform there.
He's going to be the first performer for the World Cup.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
You know why I find that hard to believe is because why would Maul be the one breaking that news? Wouldn't that be something that Drake would want to do on himself, especially
Supposedly,
that big of a
supposedly Drake and Maul are best of friends now, and he
But
talks to him
even
every day.
that's cool. But for news like that, like that's huge. You getting you becoming the first artist to perform at the first ever halftime show for the World Cup Championship. Why wouldn't, especially a hip hop artist at that, why would Maul be the one breaking that news? Like that makes no sense. Like you would have kind of like a whole plan on how Kendrick announced his Super Bowl performance. Wouldn't Drake do something similar? Like to me, that just makes it more highly unlikely that he's not going to perform at the World Cup. Like, why would Maul be the one to announce that of all things? Like, that shit makes no sense.
I don't know, man. Obviously Maul is his best friend now because he's been outside of academics. Maul is the only other one with the Drake case. He's OVO Maul. He gets all the insider information over there.
Like, aren't we all burnt out on this Kendrick and Drake shit? Like, aren't we all? Like, can we just all just enjoy this Kendrick album? This album is Asian amazing to me. Like, I'm loving it more and more the more I listen to it. And as I said, we've been both said it. Drake needs to just disappear for like 2 years, man, and come back and drop some hits, bro. Or just drop album. Like, no one wants to hear about that shit. At the end of the day, you're suing. Good luck to you. I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere, but so
yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy. You get your goddamn ugly ass on.
Oh my God.
All right, man. Another good show in the books. There was all you people out there. You're feeling dehydrated and you need a little energy.
yes, sir. Talk about it. Magnet. You know what I mean? Are you ready to take your performance to the next level? Do you want a sports drink that eliminates the muscle cramps and fatigue when working out or training? Meet Magnet, the sports drink designed for athletes who refuse to settle for mediocrity. I know you're asking why Magnet? It's power packed electrolytes and rehydrate and restores balance with their scientifically formulated blend with magnesium that fights fatigue and boosts endurance. It has natural ingredients made with real fruit extracts and no artificial colors or flavors because your body deserves the best. It has delicious flavors like mixed fruit and watermelon that can keep you revitalized and ready for action. It will boost your performance with essential vitamins and minerals. Magnet fuels your workouts, helping you crush your goals. Join the Magnet movement, whether you're training, competing, or simply staying active. Magnet is your go-to refreshment for peak performance. You can order it now on our direct link at drinkmagnet.com. Also, you can also use the promo code Cris and Mal to get $5 off your purchase. So shout out to Get Magnet and use the promo code, save a little bit of bread. Still a little bit, but still, still Black Friday a little bit. You know what I mean? Still got, Cyber Monday going on. So say that bread.
Sure. Also, get our Cristal and Mall t-shirts, the black and white ones. They were on sale over the weekend, so it's on you if you missed the sale. But yeah, get your shirt now, $25. Shipping, with shipping is like 29. But yeah, man, go get your Cristal and Mall shirt right now, man. And when you get your shirt, tag us, post a picture. All right. Also, if you want to donate to the podcast, you can donate to our Cash App at Cristal and Mall Podcast. Whatever you want to give us, whatever donation you want to give us, we will greatly appreciate it, man. We're just trying to take this podcast to new heights and new levels. And, I'm trying to fund some of these things, what I'm saying? It can be a little tough on the brothers. So anything that you can donate to us, we will greatly appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Whatever streaming platform you use, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, whatever you use to do your podcast on or listen to your podcast on, the Cristal and Mall podcast is available. Also, whatever, if you're a first time watcher on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button. So when we go live on Mondays at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, jump in the lives with us. You can talk about these topics with us. We want you to be a part of this show just as much as we are. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitch, whatever you use to do your social media on, Cristal and Mall podcast is available at Cristal and Mall. Go ahead and follow us. We'll follow you back because we're just some regular guys who like to talk sports and music and movies and various other things. So go ahead and tap in with us and follow us, man. And if you have feedback, critiques, or if you have a question or topic that you want us to bring up on the show and we like said topic or question, we will bring up the question on the show. We will shout you out because we want to show love to those who show love to us. So go ahead and follow us and hit us up via DMs, mentions, or our email. Yeah, so go ahead and follow us and hit us up, man.
Yeah, please do.
All right, good people. Until Wednesday, hope you guys have a good rest of these next 2 days, and we will see you Wednesday night at 9 p.m. to talk about our NFL picks, college football championship week picks, and various other things that are probably going to be happening on the horizon. So until Wednesday, we out.